Howdy, howdy, and welcome to another wonderful trash take. So, we're going to watch over a Trump announcement. This talks about a lot of things, from Tulsi Gabbard talking about human trafficking in America, along with Trump talking about blowing up the terrorists trying to bring drugs into our country. And there's a very viral clip of him saying, yeah, we're just going to kill them. And it's made a lot of leftists upsetty spaghetti that Trump's deciding to take out terrorists that are bringing unfiltered amounts of drugs that will kill millions if it makes it to our shore. And they seem to think he doesn't have the authority to do that. But I want to watch this and kind of just see what Trump says overall and see how it's going. But I do want to make people aware, like, presidential immunity exists for actions such as this to stop terrorists. I mean, Obama had it with Bin Laden. He also drone striked a wedding. This is already a history of the president could do this. The Democrats are basically getting pissed about literally every small thing that they can find right now to distract from the fact that they are the cause of our government being shut down. So this is just more faux outrage from them. But I did want to sit down and watch this, and it is a long video, so I apologize. But I'm going to try to change the speed on it. But without further ado, let's see what Trump has to say. All right, let's begin.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please. Oh, it's a great honor to have all my friends here. It's like old home week. What a job you're doing. And thank you very much for that. We want to begin by thanking the people that have done such a great job at the White House. They have been doing really incredible work during a shutdown. I don't even know if they're supposed to be working, but they wouldn't miss a day. So I just want to thank everybody for that very much. And we're here to...
I guess all these people are kind of on vacation. I think it's like PTO, paid time off, but instead it's not paid work time. I don't even... It's the inverse. You're working without getting paid. Obviously, once the government does finally, Democrats decide to stop holding the government hostage and vote yes to allow the government to at least pay troops, people will start receiving more money. But for the time being, government's still shut down.
Today to discuss a sweeping, unprecedented, and historically successful operation that my administration has
Move
carried
my head
out
up
in
here
recent
so you can
weeks
see Pam.
to arrest, prosecute, and permanently remove members of foreign drug cartels from American soil. And the people gathered around this table are the ones that are doing it, and in this room. Some of them sitting a little bit behind back. Some of them I'm surprised are not.
Pete Hegseth's the head of the Department of War. Pam Bondi's the attorney general that keeps winning in the court of law because all these random Democrats are like trying to say Trump's not using presidential authority when he's enforcing the law, when he's enforcing laws and powers, or enforcing laws and using powers granted to him by Congress. And these random judges keep saying, nope, Trump can't do that. It has to get appealed all the way basically to the Supreme Court or one of their junction courts. Like Gavin Newsom just lost a lawsuit, I think 2 days ago against the Ninth Circuit in California because they try to say Trump can't deploy troops again in California. And Trump definitely can. He's the fucking president. That's like his one job is to control the military, control the armed forces. Like you have Democrats that are absolutely retards, and Pam Bondi's the one that keeps coming out swinging at him to remind them Trump is using powers granted to him by Congress. He's not doing anything he's not allowed to, at least not yet.
Actually, at the table, you people should be very insulted by that. But you've done a great job back there. On my first day in office earlier this year, I signed an executive order to officially designate the drug cartels and savage transnational gangs as foreign terrorist organizations. It was my honor to do so. And on that same day, I also signed an order directing the creation of the Homeland Security Task Force to bring together all federal, state, and local partners to achieve the national policy goal of eliminating the cartel presence in America once and for all.
And Trump is using this fact that he's made them a designated terrorist organization as the authority to blow them up in the water. This is what he's using. He's called them terrorists. Guys, they're terrorists now. Oh, that's their boat? Well, shit.
And the results are, and it's early, and the results are spectacular. Led by ICE and the FBI, this task force includes the Department of Justice, the Department of War, DHS, the intelligence community, ATF, the DEA, the U.S. Marshals, and the state and local agencies in every part of our country. Other than that, we don't include too many people. That's a hell of a group, isn't it, huh? When you think of it. That's not a group you want against you. Certainly not at one time. In addition to the task force members, we're pleased to be joined by representatives of law enforcement at every level, the highest level, actually, but every level, including National President of the Fraternal Order of Police, Patrick Yos. Where's Patrick? Patrick, thank you, Patrick. Thank you for the endorsement, too.
Part where he calls out all of his friends.
I would have gotten 98% anyway, but it was still good to have your endorsement. Thank you, Patrick. I don't forget those things. President of the National Sheriff's Association, Chris West. Chris, thank you, Chris, very much. Great, good job.
Oh, man. Everyone's got to get a call out. Honorable mentions.
Chief Association Executive Director, Laura Cooper. Laura, thank you, Laura, very much.
I think the only police officers that wouldn't vote for Trump are the illegals that were being deported and the Portland police because they're retarded.
Major County Sheriffs of America Executive Director, Megan Noland. Megan, thank you. Thank you very much. And President of the National Border Patrol Council, my friend, and a very good speaker, by the way. Whenever he gets up and speaks, I say, that guy can really speak. I don't know. I don't want him to run for office. I want him to stay where he is. Paul Perez. Paul, thank you, Paul. Where's Paul? Hi, Paul. What are you doing over there, Paul? Good job. Good speaker you are, though, Paul. I mean it, too.
Paul, I see you. You're doing a good job, Paul.
And all from the heart, too, right? some great ones.
When I'm done calling
Today,
everyone
you'll
out,
hear
we're going to
details
get to
from
this
my
real
national
shit.
Security and Homeland Security teams about the extraordinary historic achievements of this new Homeland Security Task Force since it became fully operational last month in all 50 states. The job they're doing.
Damn.
What we inherited from this past administration is like disgraceful.
Yeah, it's because Biden left the borders wide open and basically lied to everyone, and the media ran coverage for him. Biden left the borders wide open. If Joe Biden had not allowed in like 10 million illegals, Trump would not need to be doing mass deportations like he's doing. And the kicker is, Obama deported more than Trump so far. Obama's deported 3 million. Trump, I think, is around, I want to say 300,000. Obama deported way more. And the media was all on his side then. They weren't making a fuss about it at all. And the only difference is it's Trump. That's the truth. It's the media wants to hate Trump and hate him no matter what he does. He could cure cancer, and they'd write articles about how cancer needs to be in today's society to kill people that don't need to be here. Like, the news absolutely fucking hates him. Find a legitimate reason to hate him. January 6th, I can understand. You hate him for that? Totally fine. You don't like him because he's renovating the White House from donors, so it's not costing taxpayers a single dime? Seems a little retarded. We're saving money, but you know, whatever. He's also, what the media's not mentioning, Trump RX, one of the best things to probably come out of this administration so far. Bringing drug prices down across the board. Inhalers, diabetic medicine, a bunch of generic drugs that have been like scalped heavily in America. They are crazy expensive. It's a combination with Mark Cuban too, helping the Trump administration to make sure the drug prices stayed reasonable. And this is crazy because this is what Democrats have been talking about doing for like 10 years now, and Trump did it. Not them. You know, it's kind of wild. Just, I got what I voted for, at least for now.
In a matter of weeks, the task force has made the largest number of arrests of cartel leaders, operatives, and gang members in American history, more than 3,000 and counting. That includes members of the ultra-violent New Generation Cartel, the Sinaloa Cartel, the LNFM Cartel, MS-13 Cartel, and you know MS-13, the gang, and Tren de Aragua, another beauty. That's a group of real garbage we have to deal with, that we shouldn't have to deal with. These are, in addition to the massive numbers of dangerous criminals my administration arrested nationwide
And
since January
fired.
20th, numbering
I feel
over
that.
120,000. It's a record, and 120,000 criminal arrests. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, for 4 long years before I took office, the last administration allowed the cartels and their operatives to frankly take over our country, to freely infiltrate America and all the communities nationwide, along with transnational gangs. These groups have unleashed more bloodshed and killing on Americans.
That's why they're having so much trouble in Chicago, because they have like, what? Didn't Cash say there's like 300,000 gang members in Chicago and illegal aliens combined? Like it's, or not even combined with illegal aliens. They said like 3,000 plus gangs, or 300,000 plus gang members in Chicago, which is why they're having such a big issue, because the cartel apparently has their feet down very hard in Chicago. And then you have J.B. Fitzgerald, the fucking retarded mayor, or the retarded governor of Chicago, basically doing everything in his power to hinder the federal government and let them be assaulted on the daily. Hell, you also have now rammings. There's a very common occurrence where these illegal aliens are following ICE and slamming into them with their car and then trying to run away. Some dude in LA that's apparently would live stream ICE and would follow them around and like try to stalk them got caught the other day, got boxed in, and then he got fucking shot because he was ramming his car trying to play fucking bumper cars to get out. Like, these people are fucking crazy. They don't want to be deported, and they're being pretty fucking violent about it, and the media's basically trying to justify it for them, playing defense. An illegal alien is ramming federal agents, and the media's trying to say, oh, he's just misunderstood. Motherfucker, what? The media has their allegiance to whatever the Democrats say, and right now the Democrats say illegals are more important than their citizens, which is why they have shut down the government actively. And it will never, ever make sense to me why they decided to die on this hill. I don't understand it. They've sworn off everything they possibly can in full protection of illegal aliens, a fraction of the population, because it's apparently some ultimate like virtue signal now that yes, I'm a sanctuary state mayor. Yes, we're a fully sanctuary state. We want the crime to go down, though. We want the crime to go down, but illegals aren't criminals. Oh, the illegal gang members that are selling drugs, killing people, raping women. Oh, yeah, that's like fucking JP Fitzgerald the other day on Fox. Like, fucking retarded. Absolutely retarded.
Than all other terrorist groups combined. These are the worst of the worst. It should now be clear to the entire world that the cartels are the ISIS of the Western Hemisphere, in addition to their monstrous violence, such as cutting off heads, burning their enemies alive, and burning innocent people alive, too, by the way.
Yeah.
The cartels control large swaths of
They'll kill you for fun.
territory. They maintain vast
Cartel's fucking crazy, dude.
arsenals of weapons and soldiers, and they use extortion, murder, kidnapping to exercise political and economic control. Thank you very much, Joe Biden, for allowing that to happen.
Shout out Joe. Didn't forget to shout him out. Number one man. I can thank Joe for making the country so shit that I won the election. Thank you, Joe.
Biden surrendered he just surrendered our country to the cartels. And don't worry, it gets better. We're taking it back. It's
We're taking it back.
at levels that nobody's ever seen before. But what we had to put up with, what we inherited, was just a disgrace. And while Biden was president, if he was president, I think the AutoPen was president, not Biden. Nearly 100% of those who infiltrated our southern border did so because they were personally approved. They admitted they were just what happened.
I like
Petey.
He's like, oh yeah, that's funny. That
anywhere on the planet.
gotta be
The worst
serious.
people on the planet they allowed into our beautiful country. Under the Trump administration, we're fine.
To be fair, they did allow them in. Like, you can completely blame the Democrats for the crisis of what Trump's doing now. It's a reaction to them opening the borders full throttle to try to throw the election and allow illegals into their cities that they were then doing everything in their power to let them vote. It's illegal to vote in the federal level, guys. We're also not checking any voter ID. There's no voter ID laws. Anyone can sign up to vote anywhere, but they're not allowed to vote, guys. The common sense answer is they were doing it to win elections. They really didn't think Trump would win presidency. They really didn't. And that's why they're flipping out now about everything he's doing, trying to find some reason to impeach him. And he's doing a good job making sure he's damn sure what he's doing is within his constitutional powers this time as president. Doing a good job for now.
Finally, treating the cartels as the core national security threat that they really are. The cartels are waging war on America, and just as I promised in the campaign, we're waging war on them like they've never seen before. All you have to do is turn on your television and you'll see what's happening to them.
All you gotta do is open Twitter. Let's see who died today. Oh, that's another boat, and that boat's gone. Congratulations to those people trying to smuggle drugs into our country. You are now bacon bits for the fish.
Past administrations have tried to mitigate this threat, and our objective is to eliminate it. We're not mitigating, we're eliminating. We're getting them out. The bad ones we're putting in prison. We hate to do that because that means we're stuck with them for 50 years
Yeah.
or more. In recent weeks, our Homeland
You're stuck with them till the next president pardons them.
Security Task Force has seized more than 70 tons of deadly narcotics, along with more than 1,000 illegal guns. And that's just recently. This is already the most successful anti-cartel and anti-gang operation in American history, and it's just getting started.
That's what Trump needs to do, is hold press conferences weekly to talk about all the drugs and weapons that they've gotten off and compare to previous administrations, because I bet they're blowing them out the fucking water. Under the Biden administration, the borders were wide open. It was fucking crazy. The fact that you can have a president that's purposely sabotaging America and our borders should have been enough to impeach him. But he was also found too mentally incompetent to stand trial when he was being investigated about him using his power as vice president under Obama to basically sell influence via his son Hunter in Ukraine. He was found too mentally incompetent to stand trial. Yeah, but he was president, guys.
We have incredible people. A lot of them are in this room with us today, and it's an honor to have them. But we're going to not stop until the threat has been fully and completely eradicated. I want to thank task force members with us today, including a person who's doing a fantastic job, Attorney General Pam Bondi. Thank you, Pam. Thank you. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Sounds so much better than Secretary of Defense. I don't know. Do you guys agree with that? I don't know. It sounds, we won the First World War, the Second World War. I would say everything before and everything in between. And then we got woke and we said, well,
I think Vietnam was pretty much a no. That was the one conflict we entered and failed miserably. Like, we kind of lied about why we entered it, said they shot us with a missile and they didn't, and then a bunch of our soldiers got really fucked up. Like, Vietnam seemed pretty bad, yeah.
well, let's call it defense. I think we like it this way better. It's funny, that's something I thought it would be maybe controversial, and it's only controversial that we changed the name in the first place. It's not controversial at all. It's been unbelievably well accepted, Pete. Hasn't it, right? It's been pretty amazing. I thought it would be controversial. People want to have our country back. People want to do exactly what we're doing right now. We're getting a lot of credit for it, and we should. I want to thank, though, Pete. You're doing a great job. Pete Hegseth. Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. Kristi, thank you very much. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi, good job. And the heads of all of the law enforcement agencies all throughout the room. You're really amazing, the job you've done. To provide additional details on our mission, I would like also to ask General Bond.
The reason I voted for Trump mainly is because I wanted the border secure and I wanted crime down, but it was also because of Tulsi and RFK Jr. Two lifelong Democrats coming to the common sense conclusion of the party's gone fucking crazy. This is no longer the party of Democrats. It's the party of radical retards. And they basically threw their bid in with Trump and are now part of the Trump administration. Whether you say it's a pay-for-play power on their part to give him a support and then get a position in the government, I'm not going to argue against that. You could say that. It's totally fine. I don't really care. I just think they were two very intelligent individuals, and they were showing their intelligence by saying, hey, yeah, Democrats are cooked. My personal preference, or my personal opinion on that.
Need to say a few words, followed by Secretary Noem, Secretary Hegseth, Director Gabbard, Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller. Stephen, you're such a superstar, Stephen. They call Stephen the other.
Stephen's getting called a Nazi, which is fucking crazy. Getting called a white supremacist. The dude's Jewish, by the way. But you have a Democrat with insignia of the guards who kept the Jews in concentration camps. And that guy is not a Nazi, but Stephen Miller, he's a Nazi. It's fucking crazy.
They have a very bad name, and I said, you should sue them, Stephen. I think he will. I hope he does.
Yeah, he
FBI
should.
Director
That'd be
Cash Patel
hilarious.
and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. And I just
Pam's like, hey, I know a good lawyer. If you need a lawyer for this, I got you.
want to say it's an honor, the job we're doing, and these people are doing absolutely incredible. I'll just add a couple of things. In Memphis, as you know, where the numbers are down in half already, and it's only been about 2 weeks. You're doing a fantastic job there. Thank you. Incredible. Nobody thought it was possible. It was really it was a very sick city. It was horrible what happened there. People would go from, if you're on the board of FedEx, they would ride you 1 block to the hotel. They said you couldn't walk it because it was too dangerous, and they're already feeling better about it. But the best example
shit.
right now is Washington, D.C. We went from one of the most unsafe places in the planet, I hate to say, but in this country, to a totally safe city. Nothing's crime-free, I guess, but this is about as close to crime-free as you're going to get.
Yeah, the criminals, they arrested a lot of fucking people and put them in jail, but they still need to overhaul the crime laws for DC because as far as I understand, you're still tried as a minor till you're 24. Like, till you're 25, I think. If you're under the age of 25, you're basically a minor, which is retarded and enables gangs and criminals to use youth for crimes because they know they won't go to jail for life. They'll get a lighter sentence because the justice system is fucking stupid in DC.
And you guys have done an incredible job with that. Every one of you have worked so hard on this one. And it's our nation's capital. And people would go to the nation. They'd go from, I always say, Iowa, Indiana. They'd go from Florida. They'd come up. They want to see the monument. I want to see the Lincoln Memorial. I want to see one of the monuments, any one of them. And they'd go home in a coffin. But not anymore. It's not happening anymore. We haven't had that happen in a long time. It was averaging more than one a week, one person a week. Who would think that's possible? And it hasn't happened anymore. And we have a safe city. We have a city where the restaurants are booming. People are going out. Nobody's being mugged, hit over the head with a baseball bat. None of that stuff is gone. We took out 1,700 criminals, many of them career criminals, many of them given to us by Joe Biden and his ridiculous.
I hope they stay in jail. That's my only concern is that they didn't have some judge that's going to basically give them a no bail bond or let them out with no bail, and they're going to go murder some innocent girl on a train yet again. It's been like a week since I made a video about that. There was a kid that got arrested, I think 111 times, but there's been like 2 other individuals who've murdered people who should have been in jail for life since then. It's just at this point, like, I don't feel like making videos every single time this happens because it's happening every other day. And it's pretty fucking terrible. And it's making me like, dude, this is crazy. It's making me realize how bad the crime is in America because these judges are fucking stupid.
Open borders policy. They came in from jails from all over the world, not just South America, from all over the world. Jails, they came in from mental institutions and insane asylums. There
was a podcast, and I was listening to it the other day, and they were saying that the Chinese will arrest gang members in China and basically say you work for the government now, and they ship you off to America to basically grow drugs here in farms and like small rural areas in America. They ship Chinese gang members to America instead of putting them in their jail because they know if they come here, they'll basically get a free pass for everything because they're illegal. And the government was fucking stupid. Under Trump, that's changed drastically, but the other countries in the world know how soft our crime policies are, which is why we're getting taken advantage of because they have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Over the world, drug dealers, and we got them the hell out of here. They're either that or if they're so bad, as I said before, we put them in jail because we can't take a chance that they come back. But I want to just say that
why can't we death penalty?
Washington, D.C.
Death penalty.
is such an example of what could be done. And now the same thing's happening in Memphis. We're just halfway through the process, and already the numbers are far superior, far better than what we would have thought at this time. And Chicago, I just saw the number. Last weekend, 4 were murdered, 11 were shot. And then I have this guy Pritzker, who's a very weak governor. Let me be nice. I'm going to be very nice. He's extremely weak. He's pathetic. I have Pritzker get up and say how great they're doing in Chicago. They're doing very poorly. So 4 were murdered, 11 were shot. I would say, and that was not a bad week for him. Okay.
He's like, only 4? Damn, we're not double digits on the murders this week, boys. Let's fucking go. Like, he's a fucking retard.
That was not a bad week. He's had somewhere 18 or 19 were murdered. And you know what his excuse was? Yeah, but that was a long weekend. Okay? Can you believe it? He said that was a long weekend. He's bad. And the mayor is worse. I mean, that mayor is worse. Low IQ. Very low IQ. And we don't need low IQ people. We need
Trump's being racist. Trump's being racist, guys.
People that are going to take care. And I love Chicago. And I love those beautiful women. Black women, beautiful women wearing
BBW, black beautiful women.
MAGA hats, and they're all over the place in Chicago. They want protection. They don't care if it's a natural guy, if it's the...
There was a journalist in, I want to say, I think it was either Chicago or California. I think it was Chicago today. Not a journalist, a security for a news van that got jumped, beaten, like slashed in the face by a knife, and his tooth chipped by some Antifa thugs that surrounded him and like didn't mug him, but just assaulted the fuck out of him and then ran away in Chicago today. Or, yes, technically yesterday. But, yeah, these people are fucking violent. They assaulted a guy because they were able to get him alone by himself. And they thought he was there as a journalist reporting for Trump. They thought he was MAGA. The dude's like, no, I didn't vote for Trump. I hate him. I hate ICE. And he got assaulted anyways. They don't care. They made an assumption about a man based on his skin color because he's white. He must have voted for Trump. Now we're going to jump him. And they did, you know. Racism's alive, guys, and it's in the Democrat Party. I don't really know what to say.
Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Marines, they'll take Space Force, okay? Space Force, send them in. They just don't want to be mugged, killed, raped, shot in the head, and we stop it. So we're going to be given a very special...
Does Space Force do anything?
Chicago, very special care. As you probably know, maybe you heard, we were going to do a big surge in San Francisco, but I got a great call from some incredible people, some friends of mine, very successful people. Mark, everybody knows him, and Jensen,
Zuckerberg?
everybody knows Jensen, NVIDIA, and others called me from
Everyone
San
knows him,
Francisco.
NVIDIA?
And they said, we're working really, really hard with the mayor. We're making progress. Would it be possible for you to hold off the surge? And I had 4 or 5 calls, and I think they're making progress of their own. That would be the greatest. I mean, if they could do that, that'd be great. And they have great competence in those people. I mean, incredible competence. Some of the smartest business leaders. And they're working very well with the police department. They're doing a good job. So we are holding off that surge, everybody, and we're going to let them see if they can do it. I said, I think we can do it much faster. I know we can do it faster. I think we can do it better than anybody. We can take criminals out that they're not going to know about, and probably they don't have the legal authority maybe to do what we can. But I'm okay with it, and we're going to let San Francisco has the potential to be. It was a great city.
I was talking about Chicago.
Very quickly to be a great city again. And these are the companies that are there that are all working. And those are the people that asked me, could you do away with the surge and let's see how it works? And we'll do that. If we need to, we'll do it. But it's possible that we won't need to. And we will be focusing on other places like Chicago. And we'll have Chicago taken care of very quickly. But just remember,
okay.
11 people.
So he's telling people not to bring all the police to San Francisco yet, I guess, which is weird. I don't see why the major companies would say we don't need you here unless they're hiring illegals. What? I don't understand what he's saying here. My assumption is he's saying that the executives of these companies said, please don't deport our illegals, which is what this sounds like to me. And he's like, yeah, okay.
Shot, 4 people murdered, okay? And that was this weekend. And that was Chicago. And then you'll see Pritzker get up and talk about, well, we have it under control. They don't have it under control. Just the opposite. It's getting worse.
Yeah, Fitzker went on Fox and said he has the lowest murder rate of like any major city. And it was actually the exact opposite. They have the highest murder rate per million capita of any city. It's Chicago. Chicago's the most dangerous city in America, basically, is what it boils down to. And the dude actually went on Fox like a fucking retard, saying, no, we're not. That's completely false. It was fucking hilarious.
So we'll take care of, as soon as we give the go-ahead, which is all I have to do is give the go-ahead. We won the big court case the other day on the National Guard. That was a good case. Same thing with Portland.
Yeah, because he's not doing anything he's not allowed to do as president. Like, these judges are just saying, you can't do that. It's like, yeah, this is literally a power granted to him. All it's doing is meant to slow him down purposely and try to motivate him from actually doing powers granted him by Congress. He's 100% allowed to deploy the National Guard. He's the fucking commander in chief. What are we on about? It's just these people are being purposely retarded.
Speaking of that, because that's where we won it. But I mean, I looked the other night, Saturday night. Portland is like burning to the ground, and these people are saying it's just friendly stuff. The whole place is burning to the ground.
Yeah, they deployed a lot of tear gas. It made the entire air go like basically non-existent. I think I covered in one of my videos the other day, but yeah, it was pretty bad. The police there are purposely not arresting the agitators, so they are selectively enforcing the laws against people they don't like. They're not arresting the agitators. They're letting them do what they want. They're only letting them get worse, and they're purposely trying to do it. They're purposely inciting violence against the federal agents, which is fucking crazy. But they're a communist socialist shithole, so it makes sense.
So we'll take care of that one. That's like an insurrection more than it is anything else. That's crazy. Portland's crazy. And then you listen to these radical left people talking about it's really okay. You're seeing things. You're really seeing things. So we're going to take care of Chicago. We're going to take care.
Just look up video footage on the ground of either Chicago or Portland, and you'll realize why these leftists aren't showing a lot of video footage unless it's the dancing fluffy animals, not the video of the 4'5" racist Antifa warrior. I don't even know what to call him. The little munchkin that's just yelling racial slurs at the ICE agent saying he wants them dead. Like, these people are fucking mentally ill. They need to be in insane asylums. That's the truth of the situation. But that's a Democrat voter in Portland, so they don't want to take care of them.
Portland, we're going to take care of Memphis. We're proud of D.C. There's nothing to take care of anymore, but we're not going to let it ever go bad. It's never going to happen again, our nation's capital. And with that, I'm just going to tell you that Pam Bondi has done a fantastic job. And Pam, would you say a few words, please?
Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for your leadership. And this is all about collaboration. And around this table, I'm looking around this table.
Who the fuck is Kristi
we all
Noem?
work so well together. I don't think another administration in our nation's history has worked so
Homeland
well
Security.
together. We talk constantly, Secretary Noem, Tulsi, Pete, constantly, but also all of our agencies working hand in hand, and that's why this is so successful. And these people around this table are working.
It's entirely true. the first time Trump got into office, he picked a lot of dog shit picks for these departments, and they just basically did the same status quo. Yeah, we're not really going to do too much. Sorry, Trump. You elected us. You put us into office, and we're just going to fucking ride it out till we feel like we're not going to do it anymore, retard. This is completely different. All these picks that he's picked, all these people, they are working very well together for the time being, and they are working collaboratively in a way that has not been seen in a while. We're seeing justice departments all interacting together and basically setting up raids to get illegals out of this country and to get gang members out of this country, to get criminals off our streets, and they're all working together to do it too. And Pam Boendi's making sure everyone can do their jobs like they should be. And you have retards like Gavin Newsom in California trying to sign a law to where federal agents can't cover their faces now. Yeah, tell the federal government what to do. Last time y'all guys tried that, there was a civil war, and as far as I remember, states' rights lost that fight. And so keep trying to arrest federal agents for your dog shit laws. It doesn't work against federal agents, but you keep trying.
7 days a week, 24 hours a day, even though the Democrats have tried to shut down the government. Terry Cole, I'm laughing because you're around the clock. You're all over the world. Director Patel, you're unstoppable, what you're doing around this country.
Dude, Patel announced like some criminal investigation, arrested like 30 NBA players or 30 different people related to some NBA gambling scheme where they were like selling insider information and then hosting poker nights and scamming people out of millions of dollars. Just seems like, that's crazy. The degenerate gamblers who are sponsored by MGM Arena and all these different sports bets are also degenerate gamblers while they're off the arena. Well, they're out of the arena. Like, it's fucking, I didn't see that coming. I thought Couch was going to announce something good. And he's like, yeah, we arrested a bunch of NBA players. Like, what the fuck? He's like, I mean, yeah, I guess they're scamming people, but like, shouldn't you be doing a little something else? I mean, it's a win. It's just not something I'd consider important at the time being, me personally. But, you know.
Gowdy Serralto, U.S. Marshal, Rob Sakata, and Dan Driscoll wearing your ATF hats. Rob, I was on the texting, Todd Blanche and I were on texting you at 1 a.m. on cases. I mean, that's how committed all of these people are to just keeping all of our citizens safe. And that's what it's all about. And this project is the brainchild of Stephen Miller.
Fell earlier.
And you are doing so much to keep our citizens safe, our kids safe, and get these drugs off our streets. Like Mayor of San Francisco and I are going to be meeting on fentanyl in a few weeks and working hand in hand on that. Secretary Noem spoke to him. But the results of this last month have been historic. As the president said, in the last month, think about this, 3,200, more than 3,200 violent gangs and drug dealers have been taken off the streets. Off the streets. Now, Director Patel and all of these agencies have also been working so hard on getting the leadership. But we are getting all the gang members off the streets and the drug dealers. Sinaloa.
Get the organized crime, and it'll at least stifle greatly the amount of criminal activity in America. It's a lot of organized crime getting the drugs here in the first place. Make it harder for them to get here and take the criminals out of here. That sounds like a win. That sounds like a win. I don't really know. Biden let the doors open, and now Trump's closing the doors, and he's throwing all the retards out. Sounds like a win.
CJNG, MS-13, and more, TDA. 91 tons of drugs have been seized as a result of this.
Do you remember the Democrats coming out to bat for that Maryland man, the Trinidad Aragua gang member whose wife put a restraining order against him for threatening to kill her and had gang-affiliated tattoos on his knuckles? The Democrats coming out to bat for him. That shit was crazy to me. I was like, this is very clearly someone who we probably shouldn't want in America, but oh, here's a video of his wife crying. Here's a police report of her also filing a restraining order against him because he was threatened to fucking murder her. Oh, here's also a video footage of him smuggling like 10 illegal aliens into the border or into the country and got caught in like fucking Texas or some shit. That shit was crazy to me. Democrats will come out to bat for everyone but citizens. As long as you're an illegal alien, holy shit, they'll protect you till the day they die. They did the same thing for that superintendent for I forget what state it was. That might have also been Maryland, I think. The superintendent, the illegal alien superintendent with multiple weapons charges who faked his degree and also was enrolled to vote and had received recently ballots to vote in local elections. Yeah, doesn't happen, guys. But as soon as he got arrested and it was a legal alien, you had people protesting outside because they just believed ICE arrested a citizen. Like, I don't get it. People don't understand. ICE can't arrest citizens. They can detain anyone. Any federal agents can. They can detain you. A cop can detain you for anything. There's no difference here. You're detained while they're doing their investigation because they, for some reason, believe you've either committed a crime or they have probable cause to stop you. And if they don't, you fucking sue them in the court of law. That's how America works. You sue them and you get a fat stack. That's how it works. But for some reason now it's all of a sudden, if federal agent's gonna stop and talk to me, I'm gonna fucking kill him. I'm gonna get a gun and shoot him. It's like, what the fuck, man? What is wrong with you? And that's what's happening all around America. They're telling people, yeah, attack federal agents. Yeah, run for federal agents. Assault them. Yeah, that's a genius fucking plan, buddy. Let me know how that works for you.
Task force. We tried to put this in perspective for you. This would be filling 4 18-wheelers. 4. All the drugs just in the last month that have been taken off the streets. 58,000.
Does that include the boats that have been blown the fuck up out of orbit? That's the real question, Pam. That's the real question.
Kilos of cocaine, Think about a big backyard swimming pool. That would fill 1.5 swimming pools. Just
Damn.
with powder cocaine.
I love the American metric system because no one really knows how big our units are. So like swimming pool, football field, truck. Like that's how we do it here.
It's been removed, saving lives this last month, thanks to all of these people around the table. 2,300 kilos of fentanyl powder and 2.1 million fentanyl pills off the street.
It takes milligrams. It takes like a fraction of fentanyl to kill you from an overdose. That's the crazy thing about that.
And as the president said, more than 1,000 illegal guns. The Biden administration was, for way too long, all of these great law enforcement officers surrounding the table were not able to do their jobs. What they've said is now they've been uncuffed. They can do their jobs now. We've been watching transnational gangs grow in our country, become organized, set up infrastructure in all of our states, but no longer under President Trump. We are destroying the infrastructure, and we're no longer on defense.
They're getting deported or they're getting their boats blown up. Either way is fucking hilarious.
All of these great men and women are on offense, so they better get ready. We're dismantling the cartels, and we are taking the leaders into custody and all of the gangs. We are going to supercharge this work. This is not a pilot program. This is permanent. We are here to stay. And Secretary Hegseth, we couldn't do this without you and the Department of War. Thank you all so much for everything you're doing around this table, working tirelessly. And President Trump, thank you for giving them the ability to do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. President, since the year 2000, we have lost over 1 million Americans to drugs, to overdoses, to these cartels.
We fought a war on drugs like every 5 years, and we've lost every single time. Now it looks like the war on drugs might actually be us winning. It seems like the drug dealers are losing for once. I don't know, guys. This is a little crazy to me. I'm not used to this.
That have proliferated that kind of a disease on our people and have gone to war with our next generation of Americans. When you signed the executive order that was protecting the American people from invasion, what you did is that you took these cartels and gangs that we've known for decades and you declared them to be what they really are, and that's terrorists. You declared war on them, and you didn't say we were just going to fight them. You said we were going to destroy them. And everybody around this table is so honored to be here to work with you.
I wonder if we're ever actually going to invade like Mexico or some shit like that, because that's where all these cartels and fucking drug runners are coming from. They're coming from South America, where they've taken over the local governments and they kill anyone that says anything about it, and they kill anyone that won't take the bribery. Like they've taken over all of South America. Best thing we can do is secure our borders as much as humanly possible, and if they come across, either send them back in a body bag or put them in jail for life. Like that is realistically the best thing. It is, and I know people are like, "Oh, you want to kill people?" I don't want anyone dead, but these people are monsters. This is we aren't just fighting regular people. They kill people for fun. They'll do it for $5 even. Like this is a different breed of evil. And if we're not doing anything to stop evil, we're letting innocent people suffer.
To destroy these terrorists that have been killing Americans for years and getting rich off of it. I'm so proud of the work that was done just in the September surge. You referenced that earlier. We had over 400 operations that went down in those first 43 days of the Homeland Security Task Force in operations that brought, as Pam referenced, 3,200 terrorists to justice, got them off the streets. Sir, we also have had over precursors and chemicals that were brought in. We've had the work at the southern border. We've got Border Patrol here at the table with you. Fentanyl has been cut down by 50% coming into this country over our borders. We've continued to work not just nationally, but internationally and on our maritime borders as well. The ICE agents that have so much violence against them and threats against them, sir, they get up every day ready to work with this task force.
ICE assaults are up 1,000%, and you still have Democrats saying that they're the Gestapo, that they need to be murdered. You have people protesting saying, let's kill Stephen Miller. You have people saying, get guns from federal agents and fucking shoot them. The rhetoric is coming from the Democrats. The rhetoric is coming from their voters, and they're not telling their voters to tone it down. They're merely trying to morally grandstand it. Republicans had a group text message that wasn't really the best thing, and if you take 2 seconds to look at it, it's very clear these kids are shitposting. But heaven fucking forbid you say don't kill federal agents and they lose their shit.
To be able to keep people safe. And then we've got Coast Guard, who's been doing just a ton of our incredible interdictions out on the seas and the waters in cooperation with operations that you've targeted in the Caribbean with the Department of War. And sir, I just want to thank you for the leadership you put at this table, for your cabinet members, for Stephen Miller, for putting this in place to make sure that what you did when you consolidated the Homeland Security Task Force, you took 1,000 other task forces that were already established in the federal government and you streamlined them into this room, into this group right here, so that we can look at each other in the face every day and say, what's our problem? How do we address it? How do we fix it? And then we go to work together with our arms linked to do exactly what you told us to do. And that's
he removed a lot of the bureaucracy tape of them trying to send emails and memos and hoping that they responded the same business day. Now all these people are constantly together, constantly interacting, and they set up mainstream communication methods to get the information to where it needs to be. The worst part about a bureaucracy is the speed, because it has to go through 30 different layers of management before it gets to someone who actually can do something about it. He's cut all of that out, which is fucking great. Fuck the bureaucracy. If we had less bureaucracy, America would be way fucking better. We have too many middle-level managers that do jack shit all across the country.
not just protect the American people from invasion, but to kill these terrorists. You gave us the task to eliminate them, destroy them, so that they can't destroy the next generation of Americans. So thank you, sir. Thank
Well,
you
yeah,
for
they're
being
definitely
around this table.
definitely killing the terrorists.
Great job. Thank you. Pete?
They're blowing up from fucking
Thank you, Mr.
orbit.
President, for your leadership. Chief, likewise, Tulsi and Todd and Dan and Pam and Christy and Stephen and Cash. I mean, I could go around the table. From the Department of War, we are thankful and grateful for the incredible effort that your agencies put in. And we could not be more proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. Not superficially, not kind of over here, but front and center on the Homeland Security Task Force, right there with you. Because our department has spent over 2 decades defending other homelands, and we're very proud to be defending our own. And if you talk to the troops down, say, on the southwest border, Mr. President, morale is sky high and continues to be, because they're proud to be defending their own communities, their own state, and their own country. So
Yeah, because we have a military that isn't gay and retarded. Yeah, I would definitely say I'd be happy to be a military that's strong and powerful opposed to one that's gay and retarded. That's definitely easy to understand. So our military recruitment numbers are up because you actually see national pride now that Trump's in office. It makes people find something worth fighting for to protect their country when you know your leadership's not an old, decrepit man who's too mentally competent to stand trial and has actually been using his position in political office to sell the American people out for years. It's fucking crazy Joe Biden made it as long as he did without getting impeached. Fucking wild to me.
when that executive order was signed, the mission was clear: protecting the American people against invasion. And so the Department of War went straight to the southwest border. We still have 10,000 troops there. We have national defense areas. We're standing alongside the Border Patrol, and we've locked that border down, 100% control of the southwest border. We stopped the invasion. And then we're proud to be going on the offense, counter-cartel operations. And it's not counter-cartel, as was mentioned. These are designated terrorist organizations, foreign terrorist organizations. Our generation spent the better part of 2 decades hunting Al-Qaeda, hunting ISIS. Well, as the president said,
We wasted all that time in the Middle East, millions upon millions to billions of dollars, just to kill one guy. And you know, I'm glad he's gone, but holy shit, I think the only reason we did that was to fund the military-industrial complex. That's it. That's literally it. That's my hot take, is I really think that we just did that to fund the military-industrial complex. The Bushes, they wanted money going into these big war machines, and holy shit, they found the perfect cause to do it, 9/11. So I like to see that we're doing a little more to protect our homeland now, at least get the bad problems out of our homeland. But that's me personally.
this is the ISIS, this is the Al-Qaeda of the Western Hemisphere. They intimidate, they terrorize, they extort, they poison the American people. The president's right. Every boat we strike is 25,000 Americans whose lives are saved because of the drugs that were headed in our direction. So
The mass amount of drugs that they're blowing up, yeah.
our message to these foreign terrorist organizations is: we will treat you like we have treated Al-Qaeda. We will find you, we will map your networks, we will hunt you down, and we will kill you. And you've seen that evidence in the maritime domain, whether it's in the Caribbean.
And I've seen Democrats cry more for drug dealers being blown up than they have for their own American people dying on the streets of fentanyl overdoses. Yeah, it's kind of fucking crazy. You have one of that retards that was saying Putin needs to die the moment he met Trump in Alaska a few weeks ago, crying on Twitter because of another drone strike video saying, this can't be legal. What if they're innocent people? It's like, you wanted Trump to execute Putin for as soon as he touched the ground in Alaska, but you're crying over drug dealers getting blown up in the ocean during international waters. You want them arrested and tried and given due process for terrorists? Shit, I didn't know we had due process for terrorists. Someone tell Bin Laden. What the fuck, man? Someone tell Obama that fucking wedding he drone striked, you know, they get their due process. That's right. He killed one target and fucking like 40 innocent people. It's fucking crazy to me that you have these absolute Democrats that all they do is virtue signal. They don't really care. They just think what Trump's doing seems morally reprehensible, and the news is covering it as morally reprehensible. So all of a sudden they're coming out, this is bad. It's like, yeah, but here's a video of you saying that Obama blowing people up is good. This is Trump blowing people up. What's the difference? Trump did it for terrorists. These are designated as terrorists. What's the difference? It's Trump. Okay, good conversation. Good conversation. So that fucking Twitter is just like a shitpost fest for me, because for now the new algorithm that Elon implemented show me a bunch of leftist retards, because every time I see their shit, I can't help but send a tweet calling them a fucking idiot. It's like, bro, what is wrong with you people? You are freaking out over terrorists being blown up. This is every president's basically done this since Obama, which has only been like 3 presidents. I think even Biden did it. Like, they have presidential immunity to do this. What's the issue? You're mad now that Trump's doing it? Okay, how about you tell Congress to start pulling some laws back to make him remove presidential powers that give him presidential immunity to do this in the first place? You know, that'd be a good place to start. That would, if you're really that mad, call your local senator, right? Like, no, they don't. They don't really care. They just want to virtue signal on Twitter.
Caribbean or in the Pacific with the last 2 strikes, we know exactly who these people are. We know what networks they work with, what foreign terrorist organizations they're a part of. We know where they're going, where they originated from, what they're carrying. And they know we know. And that will soon start to change the calculus of these boats. So the critique of this is, of course, as often is the case, wrong. We know our authorities. It's locked tight. And we're going to treat them like foreign terrorist organizations on the offense. So the Department of War is not going to degrade or just simply arrest. We're going to defeat and destroy these terrorist organizations to defend the homeland on behalf of the American people, making the jobs of law enforcement safer in the process, making the communities of Americans
Yeah, if they show up to a boat that they know are full of terrorist drug runners, do you think they're gonna let them come close? Or do you think they're gonna open fire on them immediately? They're fucking terrorists. They're cartel. They're gonna try to fucking kill you. They don't care because they know they're already dead if they go back with the drugs missing. They've got nothing to lose. Like I don't think Democrats have ever spent a rational moment thinking about what the cartel actually does to people that fails to deliver their own drugs. They'll like fucking mail your mom your head in the mail. Like these people are fucking radical with their shit that they do to send a message.
safer in the process. We think it's a very core mission of the Department of War, and we're proud to be here, Mr. President.
Cartel's fucking scary, man.
Tulsi, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The key reason that you are hearing about these incredible effects is, number one, the team that you've assembled here and the leadership.
Holy shit, is that
and the
Hillary
tone
Clinton?
that you have set, first and foremost, about keeping the American people safe. The intelligence community plays a critical role in being able to support our law enforcement at the federal, state, and local level to make sure that they're armed with actionable intelligence to be able to actually
Tulsi's the one that wiped the floor with Kamala back in 2016 on the presidential debate stage for the Democrats because she was running as the Democrat presidential candidate. She's actually a very intelligent woman. She is. Despite what the Democrats will tell you, she'll act like she's just like some nobody. She's a very intelligent woman.
go after those who threaten the safety and security of the American people. Mr. President, under your leadership, for the first time, there is a newly created National Intelligence Fusion Cell at the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, National Counterterrorism, that has a very simple purpose: to make sure that we have two-way intelligence sharing of actionable information between the intelligence community and law enforcement. I want to talk briefly about three successes that we've had just here in the last few weeks, Mr. President, through the success of this interagency fusion cell. Just this last week, our National Counterterrorism Center supported, through actionable intelligence to both U.S. law enforcement as well as Mexican law enforcement, the arrest of a Sinaloa cartel boss, El Plato, in Juarez, Mexico, as well as his top three money launderers. In a separate and recent successful interagency operation, NCTC worked closely with the U.S. Marshal
Holy
Service
shit.
that led to the arrest of another dangerous Sinaloa cartel member responsible for tracking huge amounts of cocaine and hundreds of thousands of dollars in this single incident with drug proceeds through his network. Now, I'll say the last example I'll share is probably the most insidious, was providing intelligence to the Mexican law enforcement that led to the arrest of a CJNG cartel-affiliated baby trafficker called La Diabla. Her whole money-making operation was centered around luring pregnant women, performing illegal C-sections, harvesting organs, and selling newborn babies. Mr.
This is who Democrats are fighting to not let them get deported. This is fucking crazy. Kidnapping pregnant women and stealing their babies and selling their organs? This is fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, this is who Democrats are fighting to protect, by the way.
Mr. President, it's your leadership that has made all of this
That's why Trump's doing this, too. That's exactly why Trump's doing this.
possible. I can tell you, in the midst of this government shutdown, our folks, like everyone around this table, are working 24/7 without pay and eager to get after this because they believe in your leadership and the mission that you have presented to them. Thank you, Mr. President. I'll hand this off to Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller, the leader of this task force.
Let me just say, Mr. President, that this country was going to die without you. This country was going to actually die without you. That's what we were facing in 2024. We've been invaded for 4 years. Our communities were sinking. Our public safety had gone to zero. Cartels were running entire communities. Sex trafficking, child trafficking, labor trafficking was out of control. Overdoses were out of control. The cartels were claiming more and more territory. City services were buckling. This was a country on the verge of dying. And you alone saved it. And when you stepped forward, originally in 2016, you started the movement to make America great again. And that means make America great again in every way. And that means safety and prosperity and peace and freedom from cartels and crime and gangs. And your vision and your leadership in declaring war on the drug cartels is the single most successful public safety initiative in American history. And I need the media to understand what President Trump has done. People have been talking about drug cartels for longer than I've been alive. And everyone has just taken for granted that they can't be touched or stopped. They're too big, they're too powerful, they're too evil, they're too murderous. They can operate with impunity. And in just 9 months, President
Well, they operate with immunity because they hide behind whatever government they're using as a meat shield for their operations. Like, that's what they do, is they have the government intervene on their behalf when they are captured to get them extradited out to whatever country they're from. Like, that's normally what they try and do so they don't lose members. Like, cartel own countries. They own fucking countries. They own massive territories of land. And everyone in that country is basically a slave to them and whatever they want.
Trump is the only American leader, not just in our lifetimes, but ever, to actually take the fight to the drug cartels, to actually seek their eradication. And it is happening. And so while the Democrats are shutting the government down and fighting for free health care for illegal aliens, look at what President Trump has assembled here. He's assembled a team under his vision, direction, and leadership that is saving hundreds of thousands of lives. Hundreds of thousands of lives.
And by the way, the most recent talking point for Democrats is that the Trump's main priority right now is replacing the West Wing with the ballroom. Yeah, there was an interview with the secretary lady, I forget her name, but she was talking and they asked her what's the next construction project, and saying Trump's primary concern, as in the primary construction that he wants right now, is the ballrooms. There won't be anything else. Democrats are completely grabbing that bit ignoring the fact that the question is what construction project will he prioritize, and her answer is they're like, he doesn't care about the government shutdown, he doesn't care about deporting illegals, he only cares about the ballroom. And they're like foaming at the mouth, being rabid retards about it. It is fucking crazy. I have Democrat fatigue. Man. It's getting bad with how stupid these motherfuckers are. And it's intentional too, because they know their voter base are literal fucking crayon eaters that aren't going to critically challenge or actually watch the video to see what they said. And there's so many Democrats coming out with this lie. So fucking many of them. It's wild.
And only President Trump could have done this. And I'll say one last thing, which is that his courage has been an inspiration to everyone else in this room. There are people in this room, looking, for example, at Todd Lyons, who have been relentlessly doxxed and harassed and threatened. But when they see President Trump's courage, what he's been through for 10 years to save America, when they came after his family, his businesses, his safety, his freedom, everyone at this table knows we can give whatever it takes to get the mission done. So President Trump, thank you for your leadership, your boldness, your courage, and your vision. We're honored to serve underneath you.
Well, I want to thank you, Stephen. And I have to say that, I've been making the rounds. I'm leaving tomorrow for some very big meetings, including with the president of China, where I think we're going to come out very well, and everyone's...
Oh, he's going to China today. Yeah, so Democrats were saying he's traveling abroad for vacation. So it sounds like he's going to China to actually talk with them about the tariffs. This is where they got that from, was him saying he's going to go to China to talk tariffs, and they're saying he's taking vacation. Dude, the fucking news is crazy lies. I saw that, and I was like, there's no way he's actually doing that. And I was right, because the news just fucking lies.
Going to be very happy, but everybody said the same thing. A year ago, we had a dead country. We were a dead country. We really were, in a lot of ways, not just this.
It was bad.
Dead as doornails on this, but we were a country that was in serious trouble, and beyond that. And we have the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. The whole world is talking about it. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're going to clear up this crime in our cities. We can do it quickly, too. They showed how quickly we could do it in D.C. It was a real bad place. It was a real mess. Dirty, filthy, disgusting, graffiti all over the place, tents on every ounce of parks that we had. Just disgusting. And I rode
disgusting
around,
homeless
rode around
people.
The city. I felt very safe in that car, but I would have done it without it. I wouldn't need that car so much anymore, I will tell you. But the place was clean. We've started that also. Not only law and order, but the cleanliness is important. I think cleanliness is almost a part of law and order. If you see dirty, disgusting streets and potholes all over the place, and railings falling down, and graffiti all over the beautiful statuary marble columns, those gorgeous columns where they had graffiti, it's all gone. And I think it's a part of it. I really do. I think it's a big part of it. But we have a city that we can be proud of. We're going to be that way with every city we have. That's why with San Francisco, I wish them luck, but we could do it so much faster. I told the mayor, I love what you're doing. I respect it, and I respect the people that are doing it. They're the biggest people in the country. They're the biggest people in the world. A lot of the high tech. Some people like them, some people don't, but they're smart, and they want to do it. And I said, I am so honored to let you do it. And if it doesn't work out, we'll do it for you very quickly. But I just want to thank the people around this table are amazing. Cash, please go ahead.
Mr. President, I'll just keep it short, but I think what the media should realize
Narcotic
is the
seized.
amount of courage it takes to do this. And you led that mission. You led it during your campaign, and you brought it to the American people. I think the media should focus on some of these numbers the Attorney General just riled off. Those aren't numbers, those are lives. Lives saved by the millions. Enough, enough fentanyl to kill over 200 million Americans, gone, evaporated off
Yep.
our streets permanently. Your vision to safeguard American freedoms and our children and our future is the most courageous thing I've ever seen a president of the United
Don't forget, when George Floyd died, he had 3 different illegal substances in his systems over the lethal dose limits as well. You could say George Floyd was a product of the crime of the time. You're saving people's lives, whether or not you want to admit it. Getting drugs off the street will save lives.
States ever do. And your ability to marshal it out in 8 months, these statistics would have taken other administrations decades. And the partnership that you see around the table, I just want to, sum it up with the following. When I call these folks around the table, when I call our state and local law enforcement partners who have been absolutely critical to this mission, when Stephen Miller called me and said, we're going to create the Homeland Security Task Force and the FBI and DHS are going to co-lead it, I said, absolutely. The country's been yearning for this and needing it. And the one thing I see different than any other administration is when I call these people, they pick up. I don't get a voicemail. When I make an ask, they answer. And the same is true. And so the FBI is playing a pivotal role in your administration in helping lead out this mission.
When I called them at 2 a.m. drunk off my ass, they answer. And that's some fucking leadership right there.
And Stephen's vision has finally come to life. And instead of attacking the people at this table, maybe the media should go out there and talk to the lives that have been saved forever and the communities that have been saved.
No, that would require them to do actual journalism and not spread propaganda cash. That's way too much to ask, buddy. Way too much to ask for.
Safeguarded, because it takes courage to do that. It takes courage to implement that plan, and it takes a president and President Trump to put a leadership team like this together. We are actual friends, and I know the media doesn't want to call us that, but we do that. We do hang out. We do work together. It's a 24/7 mission that doesn't turn off, Mr. President. And as Stephen said, we're inspired by your leadership, and this country's thankful for these 8 months, and I can't wait to see what the next 4 years looks like.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Cash. Great job. Todd, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. The number that I think matters over 3,266 terrorists have been taken off the streets in 2 months. And for each of those arrests,
Jesus
depending on anyone
Christ, 3,000 terrorists in 2 months? That's fucking crazy.
between 4 to 20 law enforcement agents, federal, state, and local, executing those arrests. And that means every one of them are putting their lives on the line to make these arrests, to make our communities safer. And so what I will say to them is,
And Democrats are now trying to start an agency website to dox ICE agents when they're driving around to alert others. They're doing this at bequest of probably the cartels, because at this point, to say that Democrats are owned by cartels isn't a far-fetched assumption. They're doing this to help the illegal alien gangbangers who are here in the country that are labeled as terrorists. This is who they're fighting for, not citizens. It's fucking crazy.
you. But also what I will say to them is that to the extent that there are politicians, as recently as today, suggesting they are doing something wrong. We have governors, district attorneys, mayors, and even congresswomen suggesting that our federal law enforcement and the state and local law enforcement that are helping them are doing something wrong. That is disgusting and something that we will not tolerate. That every day Attorney General Bondi and I talk with all of our partners, making sure that they know that if any one of our federal agents, our state or local agents working under the HSTF banner are even touched by any of these terrorists or rioters, they will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. When politicians...
Good. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. I'm sorry. If you're a regular citizen and they decide that you're eligible to be pulled over and detained, as much as it sucks, deal with it. You have to let them do it. They're federal agents. They've been given immunity by the courts to do that. As soon as they go too far, sue them. That's your best solution. People saying, yeah, I'm going to get a gun and fight back. Like, you're going to get fucking killed. And I'm not going to feel pity for you. Like, what? A cop can pull you out of your car the second he pulls you over and detain you for as long as he wants. Actually, it gets 48 hours. Could be wrong. Could also vary state by state. But they have the authority to do that. I don't think people really understand that it's, oh, this is such an outcry. You can't do this. Cops have always been able to do this. What the fuck are we on about? And so what's so crazy to me is like, this is a common practice. It's just Democrats are mad that it's being used to get illegal aliens out of the country now. What? It's fucking crazy.
aid these terrorists by trying to give them comfort or protection or suggesting that somehow our men and women are doing the wrong thing, same problem. We will not tolerate it, Mr. President. So thank you to all of our state and local men and women that are helping us, and our federal law enforcement officers that are literally putting their lives on the line every single day. We will always protect you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Todd. A really good job you're doing, too. Thank you. Any questions, maybe pertaining?
Mr. President.
How about pertaining to this for a little while? And, whoa. Would you have any questions of these incredible people?
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Good to see you. If I could just ask both of you, including Secretary Hegseth, there's reporting the U.S. just sent B-1 bombers near Venezuela to ramp up some military pressure there. Is that accurate? And can you tell us more about that
No,
mission?
it's not accurate. No, it's false. But we're
False information.
not happy with Venezuela for a lot of reasons, drugs being one of them, but also they've been sending their prisoners into our country for years under the Biden administration. Not anymore. We have a closed border. We had actually nobody for the last 4 months, I guess 5 months. They report nothing. They report zero. I don't know if that can be possible, but we'll accept it, right, fellas? But we have closed borders. We have people coming into our country, but they'll
As long as the fake numbers look good for me, I'm good.
come in legally. We have the strongest borders we've ever had. We might have the strongest borders of almost any nation right now, and that's a big difference from what it was 2 years ago when everybody was pouring in. But we're very unhappy with Venezuela because of what they've done. They've emptied their prisons into our country. Nobody can do that. Only a stupid person would have accepted it, and that's what we had running our country, very stupid people. So we're not happy with Venezuela, I will tell you. Yeah.
Mr. President. Thank you, President
Yeah,
Trump.
go ahead. You okay?
Yes. On fentanyl.
We're going to lose
Sorry
it.
about that. On
we
fentanyl,
have some
President
good medical help right over there. That's all right.
On fentanyl, according to CDC data, nearly 330,000 Americans died over the past 5 years from fentanyl. That's 1 in every 1,000 Americans who died.
It's more than that, but that's all right.
Yes,
it's
I know
more.
you think it's even more.
I'll be discussing that with President
Yes,
Xi.
so that's actually my question.
I figured it
I
was.
was wondering, since it mostly comes from China and has caused such carnage in the U.S.,
Yeah.
what are you going to say to convey the seriousness? And also a second question for you or Secretary Hegseth. Is there any evidence that China is now smuggling fentanyl through Venezuela to bypass U.S. and Mexican port controls?
They are doing that, yes. But they are paying right now 20%
He's going to have a serious finger wagging with Xi Jinping.
tariff because of fentanyl. That's billions and billions of dollars that they're paying. We're actually, on November 1st, the tariff on China goes to 157%.
Damn.
Which is record-setting territory. And we don't want that because it's not sustainable for them. They can't sustain that. We don't want them to have to go through that.
I don't know if y'all saw today, but Canada, apparently, they took like a half Ronald Reagan speech out of context and ran a bunch of ads to basically say Trump's tariffs are hurting America for some political campaign. And Trump put a thing on Twitter saying they don't have the authority to do this, and we are stopping all trade negotiations with Canada as of today. And like the tariffs are all back on full force. I was fucking dying. One man's retardation just cost Canada their basic diplomacy with America for the time being. It's because Ronald Reagan apparently leveraged tariffs to get with the the Japanese semiconductor plants because they were destroying the American economy. They were operating at such low cost, so America couldn't compete, and we were losing a lot of business. So he was leveraging tariffs on them to keep businesses in America, so people would keep their jobs. That's what Trump's doing too. Like, the critical context here kind of matters. Trump's saying we've been getting destroyed universally, and if we want Americans to be able to have high quality jobs, we need to start bringing factories back. The only way we can bring factories back if we make the more competitive, to where not China's the only sole producer of this in the world because they've basically worked for pennies on the dollar and now ran everyone else out of business. Now jack price up as much as they want. That's not the case anymore. That's what Trump's trying to stop here. That's why the whole tariffs came into effect. I don't know if they're going to work in the long term. I don't think so, but it's very clear that Trump's laying the tariffs off, and the economy in America, you have a bunch of companies pledging to come back. Seems like it's getting better to me. Could be wrong in 4 years, but we'll see.
Meeting with President Xi, and I would say we have some big issues, like with the farmers and various other things, but the first question I'm going to be asking him about is fentanyl. And if you think about it, they make $100 million. Think of this. They make $100 million selling fentanyl into our country. $100 million. They lose $100 billion with the 20% tariff. So it's not a good business proposition. It's $100 billion approximately that they have to pay. That's a big penalty to make $100 million. So I think they want to do something. They want to put it on the list. It's on the list. It's one of the things we're talking about, and I'm putting it right at the front of the list. So they pay a very big penalty for doing that, and I don't think they want to be doing it. And we'll see what happens at the end of next week, because I'll be meeting next week, as you know, along with, we're stopping in Malaysia, we're stopping in South Korea, we're stopping in Japan. I'm meeting
I was doing a tour to Asia.
South Korea, so it'll be the first thing on the list. Yeah, please.
On the drug boats, sir, has there been any discussion about capturing one so that you can show the
Well,
amount
we
of
know
narcotics?
everything about them. Yeah, Jennifer.
Why would you need to capture them? Like, this is something I never understood. They're terrorists. They're being labeled as terrorists. I'm trusting the intel community because I'm a random citizen and I don't have access to satellites in space to track drug traffickers, which is what apparently a bunch of people on Twitter are demanding, that they should be publicly acknowledged and publicly known now. The thing is, every time Trump blows up one of these boats, these cartels are going to A/B test to see which routes are compromised. They're going to keep doing that until they find routes that aren't getting blown up. Trump posting them daily is showing them failing the A/B test right now. It's like what game developers and cheaters, it's like a game of cat and mouse. Oh, you caught me here, and I'm going to go here. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You have to do it selectively, or you'll play your cards too quick, and they'll be able to set up more routes, and they'll show, oh, this route, it can blow it up. If she's blowing up every single one for 3 days in a week, let's send a bunch through now. And then Trump blows all of them up at once. Like, it's a game of cat and mouse here. And the fact that so many retards are saying we demand to know all of it right now is crazy to me. You have no right to know. You are a random fucking civilian. This is the government. Believe it or not, they own your fucking lives. If they decide that they're going to blow up drug traffickers, you'll say thank you, Mr. President, because there's not much else you can do. Like, maybe you can ask Congress to remove the rights of the president. Good luck with that. I don't really know how that would work, but I'd like to see someone call their senator to ask them to do that. That'd be funny to see.
But we know everything about them.
Oh wait, no, Congress currently shut down because Democrats keep voting no to reopen Congress. My bad. Actually, I guess they're voting no to end the filibuster that's currently happening in the Senate. But yeah.
We know where they're coming from, who they're coming with, generally who's in the boat. I'll let Pete discuss it a little bit, but they have incredible intelligence. And, usually when you see 5 engines, I've never even seen that before, but when you see 5 engines on a boat going about 65 miles an hour, loaded up with white powder in silver cases.
Yeah, guys, I put my bait in these silver cases on my boat with 5 engines because that's how I transverse the fucking ocean to go to America to go fish on the shore. It's like, what?
Generally speaking, that's not a good sign. They're not going fishing, right? And you don't see any fishing rods, right? So, Pete, I'll let you discuss that a little bit, please.
Yes, sir. Likewise, generally you don't see fishing in submarines either, sir. So the U.S. military, as I mentioned, nobody better in the world at mapping networks, identifying who's connected to who inside terrorist organizations. It's just the media is used to hearing that when it pertains to Afghanistan and Iraq and ISIS and Al-Qaeda. But if you reframe how you understand the world in our own hemisphere, that's exactly what these foreign terrorist organizations are. And so we will track them, we will map them, we will network them, and we will hunt them and kill them because they're trying to and they are killing and poisoning the American people. And inside that, we have all the license necessary, all the authorities necessary to take these kinetic strikes, and we'll continue to take them.
And we've been, just to add, because I think it's important, we've been capturing them for years. It's not like, gee, let's capture one. We've been doing that for years. For 25 years, we've been doing it. Not at a level like we're doing it now. I mean, just with the hits we're hitting, but we have much more intensity than any administration's ever had. But we've been capturing
the illegal gang members in America that aren't being blown up before they get deported. They're probably questioned pretty heavily. Try to give them a sweetheart deal so they don't maybe get the death penalty. I don't know. Just a thought.
these boats for years, and they get back into the system, and they do it again and again and again, and they don't fear that. They have no fear. The thing I can tell you right now, it's very hard to find any floating...
Why would they have fear when Democrats get into office and they open the borders wide open? They have bleeding hearts for all these illegal aliens, and they're letting our own civilians get murdered in the street because they're soft on crime policies. They're letting mentally unwell fucking degenerates back out there to kill again. Like, this is Democrats. This is a problem solely caused by Democrats. There's very few Republicans that are soft on crime. Very few. Because the government, the only thing it's meant to do, the only thing I want it to do is to protect me and my family from foreign threats. That's really it. I want them to also make sure big companies can't destroy us like have fucking monopolies out the ass. That's about the only other function I want from the government. Everything else, fuck off. That is all I want government intervention with. Me personally.
Vessel right now on the Pacific or in the Gulf, and I would like to call it by its official name, the Gulf of America. Another little
He almost called the Gulf of Mexico. He was almost a sissy libtard. Oh, thank God, that's my president.
triumph of the Trump administration. I said for years, I said, why do we call it the Gulf of Mexico? It's 93%. The shoreline is 93%. So I never understood that. So I made that change. I never realized how easy that was going to be, other than, I guess, AP.
Just the Gulf of Mexico, guys. We're now going to call it this. Mexico, you call it whatever you want. We're calling it Gulf of Mexico. Like, I don't really... this shit was funny to me. It just leftist liberals melting down on Twitter over this. Like, who cares? I mean, yeah, you could say, well, he doesn't need to change it. Then if he's changing it, what? And clearly he cares. It's like, I just don't care. I thought it was funny. We own more of the ocean than they do there. You can make that claim. I could definitely see that, statistically speaking. But, I mean, I'm not the president. I don't genuinely care. I think Trump's just doing whatever the fuck he wants.
AP fought us in court, and the judge said, but that's the name. And actually, they were sort of semi-prohibited from even covering us after that. It was pretty amazing. But we have the Gulf of America, and there are very few boats, very, very few boats, not even fishing boats, to be honest. I don't want to do that to the fishing industry, but it's been so effective. And our sea drugs, as they call them, they use the term sea drugs, the drugs coming in by sea, are like 5% of what they were a year ago, less than 5%. So now they're coming in by land. And even the land is concerned, because I told them that's going to be next. You know, the land is going to be next. And we may go to the Senate, we may go to the Congress and tell them about it. But I can't imagine they'd have any problem with it. I think, in fact, while we're here, I think it's a good idea, Pete. You go to Congress, you tell them about it. What are they going to do? Say, gee, we don't want to stop drugs pouring in. They're killing 300,000 people.
No, that's exactly what they'll do. That's exactly what they'll do. They'll be like, that's a future voter of mine. Don't you dare put your hands on him. Because that's who these retards are currently coming out to defend.
I think that's the real number, 300,000 people a year. So between that and my discussion with President Xi, I think we have never made progress like we've made. The sea drugs are almost dead, and they can't come in that fast from the land. And the land drugs are much more dangerous for them. It's going to be much more dangerous. You'll be seeing that soon. So
a lot more security and scrutiny opposed to the sea that's a vast open sea where they're using submarines, because they're also blowing up submarines. And people are like, oh, how do you know the people on the submarine are innocent? How many people do you know own a fucking submarine? Is this how retarded the Twittered arguments have gone with these Democrats and leftists? Because they say the dumbest shit and then they lock replies or they block you when you call them out on it. Like, it's just it's a pattern of retardation and echo chamber mindset where they don't actually want to engage. Because if you try to engage with them, they'll just completely block you. They'll be so obtuse that you can't really have a decent conversation. They'll act like they don't know what any word means, that they were just born yesterday and you're a bigot. That's what it always boils down to. It's fucking crazy. Like the whole Zoran dude from fucking New York eating wet rice with his hands and then putting his fingers in his mouth. And everyone's like, that's like Trump eating pizza. And I'm like, are you guys this fucking stupid? We're doing this argument again. Pizza, bread. I don't like getting sauce on my hands. I don't like even getting breadcrumbs on my hands. I would never in a million fucking years put my hand in a ball of rice and put it in my mouth. That's a culture difference. But to say it's the same fucking thing is retarded, and it's very obviously misplaced. And it's intentional. They want to make you seem like a racist bigot because you're not fully accepting of another culture. It's what it boils down to. It's not really anything but optics on their part. They're retarded.
that's the way it is, yeah. Go ahead, please. Yeah, go ahead, please. With the glasses, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to ask, what's your reaction to Representative Dan Goldman calling on NYPD to arrest ICE agents who he says are acting illegally? He says they are illegally assaulting people and illegally detaining people at immigration courts in New York.
Well, I know Dan, and Dan's a loser. You understand.
I know Dan. Dan's a loser. They're illegally assaulting people and illegally detaining. I don't know what constitutes them to be able to detain someone. I know if you're in a car and you commit a traffic violation, basically they can detain you for that. But it's like one of those of they have to have a decent enough probable cause for the most part. So any traffic infraction is enough for them to pull you over. And right now you have in like Chicago and LA, these illegal aliens following ICE running red lights, driving on the wrong side of the road, going 20 miles over the speed limit. They're giving plenty of fucking reasons. You have people that are violently assaulting ICE, and then as soon as they try to put them in handcuffs, they're like, "Don't touch me," and they start flailing around. That's assault on an officer. Like, you have shit like this so commonly, and then videos on Twitter of this person was illegally detained and they complied with everything, and then they're like trying to fucking hit the cop, and I was like, dude, this is you trying to assault an officer. What do you mean illegal detainment? You should be going to jail for assault, motherfucker. But the people are purposely retarded, is what it always boils down to. If anyone is illegally detained, sue the government. You'll win 100%, and you'll get a fat fucking check for it, and that's all you can do, and that's what you should do. The government has no right to illegally detain you. But the people saying they're being illegally detained are also fucking liars every time there's a video of it. So I don't trust them.
He's a guy that doesn't have what it takes. He's been trying so hard, and they're exhausted. I mean, it's so ridiculous, right? A suggestion like that. So, they're just trying so hard, and it's not working. They've even now started imitating me, of all people. They want to imitate me, and they start using foul language, but they use too much of it. You can't use the F word 7 times in one sentence. It doesn't work.
That's my bad habit, is I cuss way too much. It's a bad habit I picked up a long time for playing video games. So that's what I try to do when I'm talking. I try to cuss less than I normally do, and I have been improving. I will notice. I catch myself more when I'm speaking, mainly talking about others. I try to be less offensive with it. I use the F word as like a filler, technically. Instead of saying I'll basically just say fuck. Like, that's what it boils down to for me.
It might work once every 7 news conferences, but you can't do it. You can't do it 7 times in one sentence. So I don't know. They're really they're in big trouble, that party. Go ahead.
Some alleged smugglers have survived some of these recent strikes and been sent back to their home country. If they're terrorists, why not just arrest and detain them?
Go ahead.
2 points on that. First, when I served in Iraq in 2005 and 2006, we used to...
That's right. How about we arrest every terrorist in Iraq with a gun? Sorry, we need to arrest you, sir. Please put your gun down. Oh, you're out of ammunition from killing all of my troops. We're going to put you in handcuffs now. Oh, you have an RPG? Oh, you blew us all up? Sorry. Yeah, we lost 80 guys trying to arrest one guy, But the Democrats, they're going to like that because we're arresting the terrorists. Like, the argument's fucking stupid. It is so outrageous that these people even proposing it tells me they're in a realm. They are magnitudes of lower intelligence in comparison. That is what this boils down to immediately.
Instead of a gallows humor way, talk about the Iraqi catch and release program, the reality that we would catch a lot of people, hand them over, and then they would be recycled back through, and we'd have to recapture them or attack them again. And that's why changing the dynamic and actually taking kinetic strikes on these boats ought change the psychology of these foreign terrorist organizations. To those two that survived the shot on the semi-submersible, think again, compared to Iraq and Afghanistan, the vast majority...
Semi-submersible. It was a submarine, basically. They survived because they were enough under the water to where they didn't all blow the fuck up immediately. They were in a submarine. Yeah, regular people in a submarine, guys. Yeah. Definitely not terrorists trying to smuggle drugs into the country. Everyone owns submarines all across the world. You guys don't own a submarine? I can think of a few rich millionaires that were in a submarine a few years ago that blew the fuck up trying to go visit the Titanic. That's the only submarine I'd ever heard of from a privately owned individual, and it was a bunch of rich millionaires.
Of people that we captured on the battlefield, we handed over to the home country. Did we always like how it shaped out? Sometimes we did, sometimes we did not. But 99% would go to the Afghan authorities or the Iraqi authorities. So in this case, those two, they were treated by American medics and handed immediately over to their countries where they came from, hopefully to face prosecution, which is a very standard way of handling something like this. We've got protocol of how we'll handle it.
We have a protocol of how we handle it. Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense. Yeah, they're terrorists, they're smuggling drugs. You have full authority to kill them. This is like what we did in the Middle East for fucking ever. Why are people mad now? I don't get it. I do not understand it. And the only difference I see is it's fucking Trump. That's it.
Not that guy, he's so hopeless.
Not that guy, he's hopeless.
Yesterday there was a vote at the Knesset on annexing the West Bank. Do you see it as a challenge to your peace efforts?
Could you say that
Something about the West Bank piece of force? This lady sounds French as fuck.
louder, please?
Yes, yesterday there was a vote at the Knesset in Israel on
Yesterday there was a vote of something in Israel
annexing the West Bank. Do you see it as a challenge to your peace efforts?
about the West Bank. Do you see a challenge to your peace deal?
Will you answer that, please? Because I cannot understand the words you say.
The fuck is this? What is this Eurotard saying? Speak American.
Where are you from? Where are you from? You're from France. Beautiful accent, but we can't understand what you're saying.
Mr. President, hire me to be a French translator. I'll get about. I'd say that was a good 70% of what she said I understood. PP baguette. That's another bit of French that I personally know. You know, I'm good to go. Put me in, coach. I'm ready.
The West Bank is. Don't worry about the West Bank. Israel's not going to do anything with the West Bank. Okay? Don't worry about it. Is that your question? They're not going
Yeah, it seems like Israel and Hamas have been butting heads yet again, even though Hamas turned over all of their hostages. Seems like the whole transition to bring over their arms isn't quite going as flawlessly as everyone hoped. And Israel was also upset with Hamas and the hostages, and the bodies of the hostages that were still in Gaza and the West Bank. So don't quite know what's going on over there. I'm trying to give it a few more days to simmer out before maybe I make another video on it. I don't really know. Trump had a peace deal. Looked really hopeful. They released the hostages, and now it looks like it's kind of going sideways, but still maybe hope. Don't know.
Do anything with the West Bank. Don't worry about it. Israel's doing very well. They're not going to do anything with it. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. Are there any safeguards in place to protect Americans from fentanyl and cartels when you leave office in 2028? Any protocols that could be put in place in case a few...
The protocol I put in place is to elect a president that's not a retard and opens the border like Joe Biden. That's the protocol. That's the protocol, America. If you elect someone else like Joe Biden, we're going right back to square one, and it's going to go way faster, and we're all fucked. Because they probably will actually put people in internment camps, and it'll be American citizens.
future administration...
They want to do that over COVID, by the way.
...comes in that wants open borders. And I also have a question for the Secretary of War as well after your answer.
Well, the biggest thing we can do is make sure they don't come in, because open borders, they would destroy. It's amazing that our country is even surviving with what we went through, coming in by the millions and coming in from the wrong places. You know, I know all these people that run these countries, and they're smart, they're very street smart, and they're not sending their best, you know, they're taking them out of their prisons and their mental institutions, as I say over and over again. They're the drug...
Yeah, a burden on their taxpayers. They're saying, you know, it's easier for us to let them go and tell them to go to America. We don't got to pay for it. Yeah, if I was a ruler of a shitty third world country and Trump had open borders and I'm close by, I was like, yeah, why don't we empty our prisons? Tell them to go there, get the fuck out, or we'll kill them. Problem solved.
Dealers, they're the drug addicts. They're people that don't work. I mean, the best of them are people that don't work. They don't work. They're on welfare. They're former.
We have a lot of people here that don't work. There was a fucking... I need to see the episode to get more information, but financial auditor Caleb Hammer had on apparently 2 illegal aliens that had 3 kids, a house, and a car, and were demanding a new car. And from what I understood, the dad worked a construction job making like $80K a year, paid $0 in taxes, all off the books cash. And the mom was completely on like food stamps and all the other healthcare shit. So they're getting full access to the American taxpayer systems of food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, all that shit, and not paying a single penny in taxes. Illegal aliens. Yeah. That's why I want them deported. That shit's fucking crazy.
Of welfare, which is tiny. You know what their form of welfare? They give you a piece of paper. They give you nothing. But they want people that work. They don't let those people come out because they want those people. You know, they cherish those people. Those are the people that make their country run. They give us all of the people that don't work and are murderers. 11,843 murderers came in. 11,800. Many of them committed, more than 50% committed more than one murder. Now, why do we want them? Why would Biden and that group of thugs that he had working for him, why would they accept these?
Well, they're accepting them because that's their future voter base. That's a Democrat voter right there, if I've ever heard of it. Illegal alien and a murderer. That's who they're stopping right now from ICE deporting. That's exactly who they're interfering with when ICE tries to deport. Like that's a Democrat voter right there.
These people. Why would he accept? Nobody understands it. You know, they say maybe they wanted to vote, but I did great with the Hispanic vote, but these are people from all over the world. Why would they do it? So one question, no matter what I do, I can't, you always like to know the opponent. You have an opponent. What are they getting at? And usually you can. Why would they allow 20 million, maybe 25 million people into this country, almost all of which, but most of which should not have been allowed into our country? It's one of the great enigmas. What they've done to this country should never be forgotten. In history, should never, ever be forgotten. And now it looks like we're going to have a communist mayor in New York. That'll be a lot of fun. But remember this, they have to go through the White
That's going to be fucking hilarious.
House. Yeah, please, go ahead.
The founder of Binance. Can you explain why you chose to pardon him, and did it have anything to do with his involvement in your
Which one was
family's?
that?
The founder of Binance. He has an involvement in your own
The
family's
recent
crypto
one, yes.
business.
I believe we're talking about the same person because I do pardon a lot of people. I don't know. He was recommended by a lot of people. A lot of people say that, are you talking about the crypto person? A lot of people say that he wasn't guilty of anything. He served 4 months in jail, and they say that he was not guilty of anything, that what he did, well, you don't know much about crypto. You know nothing about nothing. You have fake news. But let me just...
When am I talking crypto? I made $200 million the other day with insider trading right before I announced tariffs on China on crypto. You don't know anything about crypto, lady. I'm the crypto expert here. Like, that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I saw this. So I think he went to jail for fraud is what they were trying to say, where he defrauded investors. But I think he also didn't defraud investors. He just had it public and they acted like they couldn't see it. I didn't look into this court case at all. I didn't look into the pardon. I don't know.
Tell you that he was somebody that, as I was told, I don't know him. I don't believe I've ever met him. But I've been told by a lot of support. He had a lot of support. And they said that what he did is not even a crime. It wasn't a crime, that he was persecuted by the Biden administration. And so I gave him a pardon at the request of a lot of very good people.
Bet he donated to Trump. That's why. Yep, definitely donated to Trump.
Yeah, please. Yeah, Danny.
Thank you so much.
This is the kind of question I like.
Yeah,
right here.
the numbers from this task force are jaw-dropping. I wanted to know, this is a question for you and both Stephen, since it was said this is your brainchild. What are the lessons to be learned from the success of the task force, and what are your continued goals with this task force now that you have about 3 years left?
Well, the best thing we have going is we have such talent around this time.
Yeah, they have a lot of momentum right now, and I like it. I hope they keep it up. At the end of the 4th year, Trump's going to be talking about crime policy. Whoever the Republican candidate's going to be, probably Vance, that's going to be their talking point. Joe Biden destroyed the economy, destroyed our border. Trump came into office and fixed it. If you want to go back to a terrible quality of life, vote Democrat. If you want to make sure your border is secure and your family safe, vote Republican. That's what it's going to boil down to. Or they're going to bring up the whole, let's allow fucking gender fluid beings in any bathroom they feel like. Oh, sorry, your 40-year-old man wants to go in the little girl's bathroom. Yeah, we have to allow that because we voted for a Democrat. Yeah, Democrats own our state. They've allowed that. Like, that's shit like that. It's crazy. You can just talk about them and letting fucking men and women's sports. Like, there's so many crazy lines that Democrats decided this is the hill we're going to die on. And I was like, this doesn't help anyone. This helps like 0.00001% of the population for a special privilege, and you're calling it a right. It's not a right. It's a fucking privilege. Like, what the fuck are we on about?
We go over every one of these men and women, and we have unbelievable talent. They've got the naturals, like somebody that hits a baseball or a golf ball or that you see more. It's more evident. It's beautiful because it's sports. You can tell somebody right away, are they good or are they not? These people are the most talented people at what they do. And when we started talking about
Trump picked good this time.
It seems so easy. What is surprising to me is how quickly we can straighten out a large city, a big city, a mean city, a city that's sick, that got very sick with guns all over the place, with bullets shooting all over. Where you take your life in your hands if you go out and buy a loaf of bread. That's not America. That's not our country. And those people don't care how you do it. They just want
You had Nick Shirley walking in New York the other week, filming about how they have the illegal aliens that are just selling shit and shoving shit in your face and like threatening to kill you if you don't buy shit from them. And one of the guys actually got violent with Nick and assaulted Nick. He got arrested like 2 days ago and got deported as well because he was an illegal alien. ICE posted all the stats online after Nick put the YouTube video up of them in New York. It was fucking hilarious to see. The dude that assaulted Nick was one of the people that they just getting deported.
done. They really do. When you go to the people in the street, they don't know. Is it National Guard? They just want it done. They want to be safe. And we've gained a great following of Americans, real Americans, people that want to be safe.
Real American patriots.
We say is we have tremendous talent. We were able to recognize, like a football team, like a baseball team, we were able to recognize the talent. And the talent is largely...
Like I said, the Republican Party this time around felt like it was more of a common sense party than the traditional Republican Party. And that's the reason I thought they were the better pick over Kamala. Kamala's policies just seem to be like, yeah, I'm going to do whatever I want. I don't really know what I'm going to do. Trump's like, yeah, we're closing the border. Yeah, we're going to deport illegals. Yeah, you guys want crime to go down? Yeah, we're going to start fucking blowing up the drug boats. Like, fucking... It was pretty big stark difference. I think the only thing Kamala said that was semi-intelligent was... I want to say her foreign policy, but it was something... Oh, no, she wanted to do IVF treatment. That's what it was. She wanted to do IVF treatment, but that was something that Trump came out with, and then Trump also saying no tax on tips for waitresses, and then Kamala adopted that as well, like within a week. Like shit like that. There's two things that Trump had said, and then Kamala repeated. And I was like, oh, that's common sense, because I didn't realize Trump had said it first.
In this room, for the whole country. It's largely in this room. There's really nothing like it. And that's why I think we had D.C. done, not perfectly, but pretty much done, at least normalized in 12 days. When you say 12 days, on the 12th day, it felt different. And we took a lot of bad people out, never to come back again. Then most of them never to come back again. But there's great talent. And
we put him in the ground. That's right. We did a mass grave. Yeah, you got arrested in D.C. You're just dead. We're killing you. Sorry, buddy.
There's also great courage. I've been watching what goes on, and then you have the radical left lunatics, and what's that all about? I mean, they're fighting us because we want to stop crime. Where did these people come from? They're paid money. I guess they're paid a lot of money, but...
They're paid insurrectionists. They're communists. They're socialists. They're anarchists. They just want the government to fall, and they don't really care who's in power. They'll throw bricks at anyone they feel like. There's a video of some police officer in L.A. that got hit in the head with a rock, and he throws like a fucking tear gas at him, at the dude who threw a rock at him. And CNN reported him throwing the tear gas, not him getting hit in the head with a rock, which is fucking crazy. It's like, the news will frame it however they want, and it's never going to make sense because it'll always be some dog shit context that's completely cut out. And it cracks me up that Democrats do this repeatedly.
Like I saw that ridiculous march the other day. I say, these people are not representative of our country.
No, it was like 99% old white people. Like, this is the No Kings March. They did a march in Atlanta, Georgia. It's like 50% black there. The crowd that they had, 99% white. Like, it was crazy. It's like, this is a fake march. It's a bunch of old white people who are retarded and believe the news that they eat up hook, line, and sinker. The only ones were stupid enough to actually think we have kings in America. We don't have kings. Fuck kings. I'm not going to go to a no kings march because it's full of a bunch of retards holding signs saying kill all Nazis, and you ask them who a Nazi is, and they say Stephen Miller. I'm not going to go to a no kings march where a dude's saying get guns from federal agents and fucking kill them. Like, these aren't people of common sense. These are violent retards who every time they open their mouth say something horrendous. It makes me realize, yeah, I'm never going to be whatever they're part of. Because these people are so incredibly stupid, I can't find any commonality with them.
Not all of them, of course, but many of them are total lowlifes. These are lowlifes. These are people that are paid agitators, and they're not representative of our country. So I don't know. I can just tell you that our country has tremendous spirit right now. You know that better than anybody because you cover it well. But we have a lot of people that are very happy right now with the direction. They did a poll the other day. The direction of our country is better than it's been in 37 years. And I'm upset because I think it should be better than that. I actually said we should be better than that. So, thank you very much for your question.
Be the best it's ever been.
Brian?
Yes. Thank you,
right
Mr.
after
President. You guys have done an
1776.
amazing job in Memphis. Some of those numbers are staggering, and we've gotten message on social media. I want to thank you for that. But I think, can you talk about the number of missing children you guys have discovered in Memphis? That's amazing.
Well, it's hundreds of thousands were lost through Biden and the Biden administration, and we are getting a lot of them back, but they're either dead, they're slaves, they're captured in some form.
Y'all remember that farm raid in California where they raided the illegal farm that was growing marijuana? It was a strawberry farm that was basically giving kickbacks to Gavin Newsom's campaign that was growing marijuana. Yeah, there were like 3 kids there that were illegal aliens that were trafficked into the country working on that farm. They're trafficking kids. Media got real quiet after that was announced by ICE. Isn't that kind of crazy? Because they stopped reporting the news because now it's, oh shit, this is the kids that are being trafficked in that are being forced to work on slave labor jobs at farms for Democrats.
But think of it, hundreds of thousands we're talking about, not even believable. And they came in through the border, they were sold, they were bargained for, and this was all Biden, meaning Biden and Obama, the same mentality, frankly. I think it's the same mentality. Let me tell you, Barack Hussein Obama was a lousy president. Bad things happened. Remember when they used to talk about Trump with the jail cells? Well, he built the jail cells for the children. He built those jail cells. Remember that came out? But
yeah, that was hilarious. They said that Trump's putting children in jails and separating from their families. That was an action started under the Obama administration. Obama deported 3 million illegals. Media said nothing. He separated wives and kids from their families. They said nothing. They had jail cells for kids built under the Obama administration. The news said nothing. Trump starts using the system in place, and all of a sudden, Trump's putting kids in jail cells. What? Obama did it. Trump's using the systems already in place. What's the issue here? You care now because it's Trump and not Obama? Why didn't you say anything under Obama? Was it because he's black? Like what? I don't understand that, because it's not logic. It's all emotional appeal. They're looking for any reason whatsoever to hate Trump. So even if their people are doing it, they get a full pass. Trump does it. It's instant retardation every single time. Trump's entirely right here. He is entirely fucking right.
they were built in 2014. You remember when that came out? After me going through that stuff for about 2 weeks, and then they found out it was Barack Obama that built those jail cells. No, these people they were bad leaders. I hope we don't have it again. I hope we
professional retards
don't have it again, because our country's come back a long way, but it can only withstand so much, and we don't want to ever go through that again. We never want to have open borders again. We don't want to have men playing in women's sports. We don't want to have transgender for everybody. We don't want that. We want to have a great country with low interest rates, nice housing, great education, a strong military.
Big booty bitches.
The basics. Yes, please.
What we want as well. We're deporting everyone but the big booty Latinas. They're allowed to stay.
In last night's New York City mayoral debate, Zohran Mamdani said he would close Rikers Island if elected. What kind of impact would that have on public safety?
Well, it's not good. I guess it's not a very nice place, but
is that a prison?
You need something. You have a lot of additional people in New York City that should not have been here. They came here through the open border, through Biden's. I don't know how they even do it. New York City's always been tight for money, and then they spend $8 billion and nobody complains about it.
There were people complaining about it, and they got called bigots. Yeah, they were putting up illegal immigrants in like 3-star hotels, 4-star hotels. I don't really know the star systems, but I remember they were opening up a brand new massive apartment complex. It was a TikTok that went viral, and the lady went in there and asking, how can I apply here? And they said, sorry, this is all government housing for illegal immigrants or for undocumented immigrants or some shit like that. She's like, so let me get this straight. Community that's completely rent locked, basically, and I can't get a new place to live that looks nice. And the brand new apartment complex that's opening up is only for illegals. She's like, yeah. And that's New York, baby. That's New York. They're willing to put out cash over fist for random fucking people, but you can go fuck yourself.
People that just showed up and they just came out of nowhere. Where did they get the money? All of a sudden they have money. I'll tell you what, we have to keep our prisons very fair and very safe, but you get a lot of criminals. We have a lot of additional criminals. I used to talk about it. They used to say, well, only good people come in from foreign countries. I said, that's not right. I didn't know that for a fact, but it had just started, right? The open borders and people flowing in by the millions. They make our criminals look like the nicest people on earth. That's the only good thing. They make our criminals look like nice people. They are the meanest, the most vicious. Tren de Aragua, you don't get any sicker. They cut people's fingers off because they called the cop. Did you call the cop? Yes. They cut off his finger, so he can't call the cop anymore. And then they say, next time we're going to cut off your hand if you cut, because they took over his apartment in Colorado. You know, Colorado, they took over a town, then they...
Yeah, Aurora, Colorado, where they said that wasn't happening, and then here's ring footage of them kicking in some dude's door with like 4 of them with AKs. Guys, it's not happening. Here's video footage of it happening. News stops covering it entirely. That's the craziest part to me, is the blatant propaganda and the blatant lies that they get away with. Fucking wild.
Took over another town, and you have a weak governor over there. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing, so he lets it go on. But we're getting them out of here. We're getting them all out. They're going back to lots of, not just Venezuela, they're going back to lots of countries. Venezuela would be one, however. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
A moment ago, you said that if Secretary Hegseth went to Congress and briefed them on the operations
No, we
against
will
these-
go, I said.
You will go. And
We
it
will
would
go.
be difficult for them to object.
I don't see any Lawson going. No reason not to. You know, they'll always complain, oh, we should have gone. So we're going to definitely, I'd like to just say, let's go.
I don't think there's a reason not to. Like, the only issue you have to worry about is if Congress starts trying to leak plans to the cartels, but then if they do that, fucking hang them for treason. I think that'd be the fitting response to leaking war plans to terrorist organizations.
We'll go. We're going to tell them what we're going to do, and I think they're going to probably like it, except for the radical left lunatics.
And Mr. President, if you are declaring war against these cartels and Congress is likely to approve of that process, why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead. Okay? Yeah.
Oh yeah, buddy, we don't got to worry about them. What? We don't need a declaration of war. We're just going to fucking blow them up. What's the issue? They can't do shit when they're dead.
Yes, red hair. Beautiful red hair.
Thank you. I'll tell
Beautiful red hair.
She'll love it. This is a question for both you and the Secretary of War, Mr. Hegseth.
Who are you with?
I'm with the Center Square. We're a newswire service. With everything that's going on between the narco-terrorists in the Caribbean, and then also with more Chinese, Iranian, Russian ships also taking part in Venezuela, are you have any plans of expanding operations out of Roosevelt Roads? In fact, placing some home porting some ships there.
Yeah, go ahead, babe.
We're familiar with the location that you're referring to, and we'll make sure that we're properly displaced in order to deal with the contingency we're dealing with there, and also any ways in which other countries would attempt to be involved also. So we can walk and chew gum. We're definitely keeping our eyes on near-peer adversaries at the same time, but we think sending a message on these cartels, these narco-terrorists, is important inside our hemisphere, which for far too long, other presidents, as the president pointed out, they've ignored our own backyard and allowed other countries to increase their influence here, which only threatens the American people. We're changing that.
One big thing that has happened, though, because you mentioned expansion and expand our efforts. So when I was running for office, second term, everybody was talking about the fact that nobody wanted to join the military, nobody wanted to join the great police forces.
Yeah.
They didn't want to join New York's finest or any of our
Recruitment numbers were down across the board under Biden.
police forces. They didn't want to join anything having to do almost like with the country with the uniform. We are setting records with the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Space Force, Coast Guard. We're setting records. We've never had anything like it. And I'll tell you when it started, November 5th. We didn't even have to wait till January 20th. They saw spirit. And now we have people coming in that are, it's unbelievable. And if we wanted to increase our military force, if we wanted to increase any one of these, including police forces, they can now get men. People didn't want to be policemen and women. They didn't want to be firemen and women. They didn't want to go into the military. We were having tremendous recruiting problems. And
Well, Democrats are dehumanizing federal agents. They're dehumanizing cops as well. It's what they do is they dehumanize whatever group they don't like, and they act like, oh, this is okay, guys. We can dehumanize anyone we don't like because we're the Democrats and we get a free pass every time we do it.
now we're setting records. We literally, last year at this time, you were doing stories that the recruitment was a disaster. We couldn't get men and women to go into the military. Now we have such an overabundance. We've never had, I mean, it's, as I understand it, it's like record-setting recruitment. This is in less than a year. It's been amazing. So this is a good time to expand if we want to do it. And I think we should. I think we should. And we probably will. Yeah, please. Yeah. Blue?
Questions for you. First for you and Secretary Hegseth. Is the administration supportive of sending National Guardsmen to cities for the express purpose of aiding deportation and immigration enforcement efforts?
To expand deportation efforts?
Sending National Guardsmen to U.S. cities for the express purpose of aiding deportation and immigration enforcement
What
efforts.
we've done so far is stand alongside federal law enforcement in every way, facilities and personnel, but also we have a great deal of lift inside the military. We're able to move assets in a way that no other aspect of the U.S. government can. And so where we
They can move shit quick through the fucking military.
can rapidly assist with mass deportations, we have been happy to do that.
There's actually a video of, I think it was yesterday night or last night in California, one of the military bases. Some Antifa-tards in a U-Haul truck tried to back up and plow into it with a U-Haul truck, and they opened fire with a fucking AR. Like, started mag dumping in that bitch, and the dude he wasn't dead. He drove away, and everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy to see. Antifa fucked around and found out, but they let him get away. They didn't try to like arrest him. They just fucking opened fire on him and kept their distance. I guess they assumed it was a bomb or it was booby trapped or they were gonna let it blow up. But the dude, it's crazy. It was on video earlier that day at a protest, and then showed up at the ICE facility, and they tried to back up into it, and then fucking bullets come raining from the military shooting at that shit, which is rightfully so. It looks like it's a fucking terrorist attack about to take place. Just crazy to see, and then people just fucking filming it too. I'd be like, bro, I'm getting the fuck out of here. What the fuck?
Is the administration at all supportive of potential measures to crack down or regulate or even ban apps that track ICE agents' locations?
What do you mean by that?
Like specific apps that are used to track the location of ICE agents?
I guess we'll do that. I'm not a big app guy. I'm not into that too much. I think Pam might be it. Let's go.
Yes.
Good
yes.
answer there.
Yes. These organizations, President Trump, are coming in and their apps to track our federal law enforcement officers, and it jeopardizes their lives.
Track them that the cartels are going to use for any operations against their people. That people are using to dox. That the cartels are also putting bounties on the people that they can identify. That's what they're doing in Chicago. It's like $2,000 to identify and $20,000 to kill someone. Like there's some crazy shit happening. There's some crazy shit happening. And the fact that Democrats are like, yeah, we need this. This is a good plan. We're going to get our citizens killed. They're trying to get American citizens killed. There's no way. Don't beat around the bush here. Don't use your linguistic retardation. That is what they're doing. That is what they are trying to achieve is political intimidation and political violence. That is what they are going for.
Where they're going to be, their location. And we've actually been working really well with the tech companies who have been cooperating because they don't want our law enforcement officers to get injured. So yes.
Well, I mean, I see it with ICE where they're having, where they define where they live, who they are. And, I didn't have a big view on the mask, but I now understand why they should wear masks. I think it's very dangerous for them not to wear masks. They can do whatever they want. I notice some do it and some don't, but it's pretty dangerous. But when you look at, you talk about that question, I think it's very dangerous, and I think you're coming down on that.
Yeah, when you have people that are holding their signs saying "kill all Nazis" and they're pointing at you and calling you a Nazi, I don't think it's really hard to understand they want you fucking dead, and they're not getting arrested for it.
Hard, right?
At least not some of these cities.
Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. When you were running for re-election in 2024, you released a video statement where you made this exact promise to show no mercy on the cartels and employ every military asset necessary to combat them. In that same video, you also said that you plan to expose all the bribes and corruptions with politicians and the cartels.
We're doing that.
Yes.
We're trying to do that.
Looking into that in America.
Yes.
Yeah, where the money's coming from. Because
yes. I want anyone taking money from foreign powers to allow drugs or crime in their community to go up. I want them hung for high treason. I want all of the evidence shown out that it's very clear this person did it. I want them hung for high treason. That is what I want. Anyone guilty. I don't give a fuck about your party affiliation.
Even that garbage deal they had this weekend, which was embarrassing to them, and the crowds were the crowds were not big. Those crowds were not big at all. But when you look at signs, and they're all made beautifully, the yellow signs, I saw the yellows, the blues, but they're all made professionally in a printing shop, looks like on Madison Avenue someplace. Some guy is paying for all that stuff. And we don't mind protest. Protest is a good thing. I protest. I'm always protesting, right? But when you see some of these people are going crazy. They're going crazy because they're getting paid. Because there's no reason for them to be going crazy. But you watch some of them, and they're professional agitators, and we are finding out who's paying them. Yeah, we have a lot of information about who they are. You're going to be very surprised when you find out.
They are. They're professional agitators that are going from protest to protest. There's one of the guys that got arrested in the ICE facility in Portland that was also seen at a protest in LA a week later. I don't know how he even got I don't know how he posted bond. I figured to be held on terrorism charges, but apparently not. But he's down there protesting ICE in another state, and he got hit by a car because he's standing in the middle of the fucking roadway trying to body block a car, and they kind of scraped against him, and he fell on the ground and acted like he was dying. But it was the same guy. Everyone pointed out like, yo, this is the dude that just got arrested up in Portland. How the fuck is he down here?
I have a question for Secretary Hegseth. Sir, a memo circulating on social media details the establishment of a National Guard response force that's going to be trained in crowd control and civil unrest and deployed in all 50 states by April of 2026. Can you verify the authenticity of that memo, and do you have any more information on the operations?
I'm not going to answer particulars on something that may be in the planning process, but we definitely do have multiple layers of National Guard response forces, whether it's in each state, whether it's regionally, whether it's Title 10.
Yeah, when they deploy the National Guard, it's not like they're saying every single member come in now. There's like different groups that they have set up to come in on separate times in case of an emergency, or they could do all hands on deck. I mean, that'd be the smart way to do it, have multiple groups to stagger depending on the type of response that they need. Yeah.
Duty, whether it's Washington, D.C. We've got a lot of different ways that constitutionally and legally we can employ Title 10 and Title 32 forces, and we will do so when necessary.
And they are doing it legally, and judges are still saying, no, you can't do that, that's unconstitutional. And it's a lie. It's just a flat fucking lie. It's complete judicial overthrow of the government. These Democrat judges are trying to overthrow the government and stopping what the government is legally allowed to do because they feel it's wrong. I'm sorry. Where did it say anything about feelings are more important than facts in the Constitution? Where does it say that in any laws that Congress passed? Oh, it doesn't? You're just a retard judge? Yeah, cool.
Thank you. President Putin basically said today that Russia is immune from U.S. sanctions. He said that it would not impact the Russian economy in any serious way. Is he
Good.
Yeah,
I'm
he
glad
says
he
that.
feels that way. That's good. I'll let you know about it in 6 months from now. Okay, let's see. Let's see how it all works out. Yeah. Go ahead, please, Blue.
Him getting India on their side to say that they're going to stop buying oil from Russia, that's going to hurt the Russian economy.
Task force, one about the shutdown. I'm Taylor Poplars with Spectrum News. The same day you established this task force back on January 20th was the same day you pardoned the January 6th defendants.
Yeah, very proud of that. Yeah.
Just last weekend, one of them was charged with allegedly threatening to kill House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. And a big theme of this task force has been allowing law.
Hopefully he stays in jail. Unfortunately, a lot of people on January 6th did get pardoned because they were being held without bail for trespassing charges. Anyone that was violent against officers should have stayed in jail. Trump made a decision to blanket pardon everyone. Not the best, not the worst. There's a lot of people that were stuck in prison, not allowed to post bail for trespassing charges. Something that had a max of 2 years. They had been in jail for 4 years awaiting trial in one of the most Democrat cities in America, D.C. Trial by your peers full of leftist retards that are going to find you guilty no matter what. Not allowed to post bail. That's why everyone got pardoned. And Trump was very clear about this. The Democrats have absolutely violated everyone's civil rights when it came to January 6th. That's why Biden pardoned the entire council that was overseeing the January 6th trials. They all got pardons. Why would they do that? Because they were purposely deleting evidence and not allowing evidence to be submitted or to be used for people to prove their innocence. Because people were being let in on January 6th. It's not everyone. You could say, I think it was about 25% of the people there were let in when they were all tried for like, high treason, it's such a treasonous charge, we're not going to allow you to post bail. But then when we actually bring you to trial, you're only charged as trespassing. And if we didn't get you on the first day, when we do arrest you, we're going to make sure the news is there. We're going to SEAL Team 6 your house and point guns at all of your family members and your dogs. And, oh man, I hope you don't reach too fast because you'll end up dead on national television. That's why everyone got pardoned. And it looks like one of the pardons was a bad person to pardon. And he's back in jail. Threatening to kill someone, should be in jail.
Enforcement to do their job and holding accountable people who go after law enforcement. Do you worry that your actions back on day one undermine what this task force is trying to accomplish?
No, not even remotely fucking close. That is such a retarded fucking question to ask. Such a retarded, low IQ question to ask. You're stopping drug dealers and terrorists in this country. Do you feel bad for pardoning people on January 6th because one of them turned out to be a person that shouldn't have been pardoned? Out of the fucking like 10,000 people, I don't actually know how many he pardoned. I think it's over a few thousand.
Have thousands of people that we're dealing with, and you know, if one goes haywire, look at what this guy in Virginia said, where he wanted to kill his opponent.
Jay Jones said he wants to kill his political opponent, says he wants to see their children died, and called them fascist kids. Yeah, not arrested. In fact, he's running, and Democrats won't even. He'll say he's still the best pick for candidacy in Virginia. You have the retard in Maine with a Nazi tattoo on his chest. You had a lady on CNN saying, I don't know how he got that. That's deplorable. That's reprehensible. And it's like, will you condemn him? She's like, I don't really know. He still might be a right sound guy to pick. Democrats will do everything to protect their own and never call out their own bad behavior. And that's why that party fucking sucks. And that's why anyone that says they're a Democrat, you're in a fucking cult is how I view it now. Because they openly let people get away with reprehensible behavior. Someone wanting kids dead. Somebody with a fucking Nazi tattoo. Are we serious? Is this real? Are you a real, like, what? You're not upset about that? You're upset about January 6th dude who got pardoned?
To kill his opponent, he's going to kill his opponent's children and I think wife, and he continues to run, and the Democrats continues running for Attorney General in Virginia.
Trump, absolutely masterclass by Trump here, basically saying, hey, what you just said is incredibly stupid. Here's the Democrats and their bad behavior, and nothing's happening to them.
What he said. So now, do you think all Democrats should be prohibited from living anymore? I mean, think of what he said. He's going to kill his opponent, and he's going to kill the children of his opponent, and I think the wife. I said, this guy's sick. That is a sick guy. And
mentally sick fuck.
But I don't view that every Democrat would say that, because not every Democrat would say that. So you can't,
Using it as an example, not every January 6th that I pardoned was a bad person. There was one bad apple in the bunch.
You could have one person, but I don't know of the incident. I can say we're very proud of what we did. We had the courage to do something that should have been done. The problem, sometimes the Republicans are too nice. They're a very nice party. The Democrats play a much dirtier fight.
That's why I'm glad to see Trump actually putting people in jail and bring them up on charges that they deserve, like Comey being indicted by a grand jury, by Letitia, whatever the fuck her name is, being indicted by a grand jury for mortgage fraud. Bring him up on charges. It went from when Trump committed mortgage fraud, which the bank said there was no fraud. Yeah. The judge basically said, I don't believe that your Mar-a-Lago is worth $100 million. I think it's like $2 million. Yeah. That's that entire case where they tried to bring Trump up on the fraud for that. And then another case with a bunch of misdemeanors turned to felonies. Yeah. A campaign violation fraud where he signed the wrong bank account form for a transfer purchase. He had the money to cover it. He just used the wrong bank account, basically. Yeah, that's a felony now. Democrats absolutely weaponize the fuck out of the government. And anyone that's saying that this didn't happen and Trump's weaponized the government is a fucking retard who's been literally having hands and duct tape over their eyes and ears these past 4 years that has been seeing what the fuck they try to do to him. I'm saying if he's guilty of a crime, charge him with the adequate response. His campaign finance violation charges, misdemeanors. That's historically a misdemeanor. You pay a fine. They elevated it to a felony for no reason other than we want to do it because it's Trump. Hillary Clinton had similar multiple campaign finance violation charges for the 2016 election, by the way, with the fake Russian dossier or the Steele dossier that they had where Trump was a Russian asset. That was paid for illegally by campaign finance funds. And she paid a fine for it because that's what happens. But when it's Trump, it's all of a sudden a felony. Riddle me this, Batman. That sounds like weaponization of the government. Huh.
You know, it's amazing. You go after dirty cops like Comey, and you go after, these are dirty cops. Letitia James is a dirty cop. You go after these people, and they say how horrible you are, and yet I got indicted 5 times and impeached twice. Nobody says anything about that. You know, they say, oh, they actually said the other day, oh, he's trying to indict somebody. I got indicted 4 or 5 times, Todd, maybe more than that. Yeah, I think you could say 87 times if you really think about it, right? With the charges, a bunch of phony guys, but nobody says anything about that. But they mentioned it the other way. No, the Democrats play a very dirty game. It's all they're good at. They're good at a couple of things: cheating on elections and playing very dirty. And they have one good trait: they stick together. They stick together. They stick together through the worst policies that anybody's ever seen.
Through the worst people too.
They stick together, and I respect them for sticking together. But it's a dead party.
It's because it's a fucking cult.
Because their policies are no good. Okay, right? So we'll do a few more and we'll go home.
Wonderful.
Everybody's going to go home. I'm going back to the Oval Office, however.
Speaking of Democrats, there's a report that there's a grand jury on Adam Schiff for apparent mortgage fraud. If he is indicted, should he step down as a U.S. Senator?
Well, you know, I'm not going to comment on that. I would just say Adam Schiff is one of the lowest forms of scum I've ever dealt with in politics. He's a horrible human being, very dishonest person. I have no idea what's going on. You tell me.
I don't even say I wiped the gum off the bottom of my shoe. I say I wiped the Schiff off my feet, if you catch my drift.
He's going to be indicted. I don't know. You could ask Pam. I don't know if she could say it. Probably you are allowed to say it, but I wouldn't know about that. I can only tell you he's a very bad, I think he's actually a sick person. Do you want to talk about that?
We're not going to comment on any grand jury that's open. We can't legally.
Good answer.
I don't know. By the way, I hope it's true, but I don't know anything about it.
I hope it's true. He wants to see his enemies fail. Praying for their downfall.
Oh, millions of dollars, yeah. Well, I also give, I give a lot of money to the White House. The White House is, as you know, I give my salary, and I usually like to steer it to the White House because this house was a little bit abandoned. First of all, for 4 years, you had a guy walking around that didn't know where the hell he was, and this house was not taken care of the way it was supposed to be.
I came into office and the desk was full of diapers, and apparently it was Joe Biden's diapers. He left them here for me, I guess. I don't really know.
I take very good care of property. I was very good at that. And you'll notice the floors downstairs, I paid for them. Marble, the most beautiful marble you've ever seen. The white floors down in the palm room, they look like they came out of, I don't want to lose because they're big supporters of mine, Home Depot. So I'm not going to say bad, but they did come out of a box from Home Depot about 30 years ago. They were all broken. But now they have the most beautiful floors, the most beautiful lights and chandeliers. I think most of you, Brian, you've seen that, right? Yes. How beautiful is that? And I take care of it. So I spend millions of dollars on this building, taking care of it. It was not properly maintained, and now it's starting to gleam like it should. It should really gleam, and you should go down and visit the Presidential Walk of Fame. Have you seen it? It's quite good.
Joe Biden, they put a picture of Otto Pin up for him instead of a picture of Joe Biden.
I'm sure that a lot of people coming to the White House, it's hot. It's very hot. But it's really a tribute to the presidents, past presidents of our country. Yeah, please.
Mr. President.
Yeah, behind you, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So on Monday, a question for you as well, Secretary Noem. On Monday, Mayor Karen Bass of LA and Representative Robert Garcia, they held a press conference and they called for an investigation into DHS, accusing them of unlawfully arresting U.S. citizens and racially profiling and only arresting people because, in Robert Garcia's words,
unlawfully arresting U.S. citizens. Sounds like they have a case on their hands to sue the government, right? First Amendment auditors, they get arrested for doing their First Amendment rights. They get fat $1 million lawsuits from the city.
They look like me. He's a Hispanic individual. Do you have a response to that?
Are you asking me that question?
You as well as Secretary.
Oh, they're racially profiling? What race is a fucking immigrant? We're doing this dog shit retarded argument again? Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. It's like they're stopping people in the city where 1 in 5 people is a fucking illegal alien And they're stopping basically everyone because they can, and they're going to guarantee they're illegals. Oh, you're racially profiling? Sorry, your city's 1 in 5 fucking illegals where everyone's getting stopped now. You can blame the people that have run your city and turned to a sanctuary city to make it to where it's such a high traffic location for illegal aliens that they're going to stop everyone because there's a good fucking chance you're an illegal alien. Oh, fucking hell, man.
They are arresting bad criminals, and they're really good at it, too. I look at the numbers, they always like to say that, oh, you're arresting this and that. Then when you check it, you find out, geez, almost every single time, and, obviously every once in a while they may get one wrong, but they always correct it. They're able to correct it. But they are arresting really bad people. They're arresting people that kill, people that would cut your throat and not even care about it. These are brave people, and it's very dangerous. And if they go...
Yeah, speaking of the Ukrainian refugee who died on the train, I know Pam Bondi announced that they brought him up on federal charges, that if he's found guilty on, death penalty's on the table for punishment. So
even a little bit too far, they get into trouble, which is a shame. I protect them, but they get into trouble. But they're arresting very serious criminals, and they're getting them out of here. Okay, one or two more. Doug, do you have a question? I'd love to have Doug have a question, our great photographer, because he's such a great guy, and he might be the most talented person over there. I don't know. Let's hear your question. This guy's a real beauty.
On the cartel strategy, hearing you talk about it as a war, hearing Secretary Hegseth talk about defeating and destroying and the comparisons to ISIS and Al-Qaeda, those efforts took American troops being engaged in foreign countries. Do you think that's ultimately where this is headed with the cartels, having American troops in countries like Venezuela?
No, the cartels are very bad. They have a lot of bad people coming in. They were interviewed recently, and they were asking people what their problem was, and one guy said, yes, I'm up for murder. Didn't know what he was saying, obviously. I'm sure his lawyer was not thrilled with his statement, but no, they're rough people coming into those cartels. Those cartels are rough. You look at what happens. The trip up is horrible, especially for women. They're being killed. They're being raped at levels that nobody thought even possible. In my opening speech, I mentioned that, but in a very light way. I mentioned the word rape. Then I found out that you take a look at what happens in those cartels. It's horrible what's going on. And we're doing...
Yeah, they just basically kidnap some of the women that come up here to try to get across the border illegally. They were just kidnapping them and selling them into sex trafficking. They were just doing that. No one's stopping them. People are going missing because they're traveling through countries undocumented illegally. Human trafficking became very common. And the Democrats were basically supporting it because they're allowing the borders to be open and creating a system that's allowing this evil to foster.
The world a big service by just telling them, you don't have too many cartels now because they know when they get up here, they're going to be stopped. Under Biden, they were just flowing into the country. It didn't matter what you were, where you came from, what you looked like.
You had Ted Cruz in Congress showing the wristbands that they were putting on people when they were transporting them to say how much money they paid and whether or not they could basically treat them as sex slaves when they're coming through checkpoints. The cartel was doing that. Ted Cruz went in front of Congress and showed that. And they acted like they'd never seen it before. Well, of course they haven't seen it. They don't actually know any of the policies that they put in place that are facilitating human sex trafficking into America. Why would they care about that? All they do is post on Twitter slam dunk points on the Republican tards. Actual policies that the Democrats caused under Biden destroyed people's lives. 100%. It's fucking crazy to me that they... you can just be a raging retard and you're still getting reelected for it too. Fucking crazy to me.
Your record, they didn't check records. Millions of people came into this country that should not be in our country right now. We've gotten a lot of them out. It's the single biggest problem.
Yeah, like the fucking illegal alien, that Indian that just crashed his 18-wheeler off while high off something. I don't know. They said he was a DUI, driving under the influence, which I don't think is alcohol. I think it was drugs. Slammed his 18-wheeler into standstill traffic, killed 3 people. Didn't even try to slow down. Didn't even hit his brakes. Dude was so high off his ass, he killed 3 people. Illegal alien. Got a license under the Biden administration, or got a work permit under the Biden administration while having deportation orders. Given a license via California. Who isn't checking to see if people can read basic English. They're not even doing that now. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Democrats, yet again, in their empathy, shining bright, got 3 more Americans killed. Thank you.
That we were given. Inflation I've already taken care of. Economically, the country is the strongest it's ever been. Thank God for tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, we'd be a third world nation. But thank God for tariffs. We're the richest nation in the world now because of tariffs. And we're able to economically protect ourselves. And we're able to really protect ourselves from a national security, situation. But
I think isn't the gas the lowest now it's been in 5 years? I saw a report on that yesterday. It's hitting prices that haven't been seen since pre-COVID, basically. That's Trump. That's Trump. And the crazy part is it's still $5+ in California because they charge you so much. It's taxed 30% or some crazy shit like that. It's fucking hilarious. Imagine you live in one of the most beautiful places in the country and it's run by retards where you get taxed for literally everything for doing anything. Sucks to suck.
Cartels that, somebody came up with the word cartel. I won't tell you who that person was, but you got a lot of bad people in the cartels. And you could look at a country like Mexico, and I really respect the president. I really respect a lot of
created
people,
cartels?
a lot of the leadership, but they are in fear in their own country. because those cartels are running those countries, okay? And
Yeah, the Mexican race for president this last year had like 40 candidates that were executed, assassinated, all running for candidate for president of Mexico. And now you have some lady that won, the one person that wasn't killed because all the other competitors were fucking killed. Who do you think killed them? The fucking cartels.
includes Colombia. Colombia is a drug den. It's a drug den, and it has been for a long time.
Colombia.
And you got a lousy leader over there right now, bad guy, a thug. But they make cocaine at levels that we've never seen before, and they sell it back into this, and they're not going to get away with it much longer. We're not going to put up with it much longer. Colombia is very bad. Mexico is run by the cartels. I have great respect for the president, a woman that I think is a tremendous woman. She's a very brave woman. But Mexico is run by the cartels, and we have to defend ourselves from that. Go ahead. Let's go with you. Go ahead. Let's listen to this beauty.
Shutdown by the time you return from your trip to
Do
Asia?
I expect to have it resolved by the time I return? I don't know. I
Hope
said
so.
long ago, we shouldn't have been in this problem. This was September 28th. It came due in Biden's regime. And before the
Biden
election,
regime.
September 28th, and they pushed it off into the future. And I was running when they did that.
That rhetoric.
And when you're running, but I did say, what the hell are they doing? That and debt ceiling. They also pushed the debt ceiling past the election date. So that would mean the next president has it. But I did say that I think the Democrats have gone totally crazy. And you don't know what they're going to do because
Nope,
they
you
don't
don't.
care about the people. They don't.
They care about the illegals. They care about the drug dealers more than anyone
There are
else.
A lot of very low IQ people. Jasmine Crockett is a low IQ person. A lot of them are. I don't want to insult too many of them.
Jasmine Crockett was also one of the ones spreading the fake clip about the secretary lady that was being talked about what future construction progress that Trump is going to be doing at the White House, and her saying that the ballroom's the big one. And they're saying that that's Trump's only priority because they're clipping the ballroom's the big thing the president's currently focused on. The context being construction projects. She was one of those that tweeted that out as well. And everyone's saying, like, all that shit that you're putting to put your wig onto your head, that glue is seeping into your head and giving you brain damage because you're fucking stupid. And she is incredibly fucking stupid. She said just because you commit crime doesn't make you a criminal. Like, she said some crazy retarded shit in the past. It's fucking wild to me.
But a lot of them are. They have no rudder. I don't think they know what they're doing right now. They've never done this before. They always agreed to go and call it an extension. Let's do an extension and talk. Even today, look at what happened today. They wouldn't even. They don't want to.
They had control of the majority of the House, the Senate, and the presidency under Biden, and they voted to extend the Obama shit. That's basically the same thing that's up for play right now. They didn't pass it. They just gave it another few credits for another few years to last. They didn't pass it. They gave it to the Trump presidency. When they were in power, they could have already signed this off to where it's no longer an issue. It's fully paid for. They chose not to. Why would they do that? Because they don't actually give a fuck. They're using it as continuous bargain chips to re-elect me, and maybe I'll make your Obamacare even more expensive. And I remember when that shit came out. My dad got fucked by it hard because we were a middle-class family, and the premiums on it were fucking crazy. My dad had to pay like $40K a year for me, my brother, and my sister to all be able to get on that shit. And even then, he still would have to pay out of pocket out the ass. So he decided to take the fee, which was like $100 a month for each kid, to not be on it than it was to pay for it because it was so fucking expensive based on how much money he made. Didn't take in the fact that he was crippling debt and couldn't even buy a house. Fucking crazy to me. That Obamacare shit, the Obama collapsing the economy, or the, say, 2008 economy crash. I don't really know if Obama caused that. I was too young. I remember that, though. That shit was crazy to me. Obamacare seemed like it was a fucking L for everyone. And it seems like it's only ever gotten worse since then.
The people that have worked, and this was supposed to be this was a test, and they wouldn't pay the people that have been working. They said, no, we don't want to pay them.
Yeah, that's true. There was an emergency vote, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, to just reopen the government temporarily to pay everyone that needs to get paid, have their salary paid while we still talk about negotiations about this shit. And they said no, and they voted no. Democrats voted no to pay people. They're voting no to keep the government down purposefully, and they're doing everything with their propaganda machine to say it's Trump. And it's fucking stupid because they're the ones voting no.
All the Democrats. Now, all we need is 5 Democrats. And I know a lot of Democrats that are saying that
We have
more
Fetterman.
than 5. Probably not that many more than 5, but there are more than 5. And all we need is like 5 Democrat votes that we open our country.
Every one of their constituents that's on food stamps, I pray to God they vote them out of office. That would be the funniest shit. Democrats lose like 20 seats across the board because of this, because they are about to not get their food stamps. And that is going to fuck a lot of American families. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are leeches on the system, but there are people that need fucking food stamps. There are people that are down bad with kids. Even if I hate the fat mother that doesn't work a day in her life because she'd rather be fat retard, I'm still going to feel empathy for her fucking kids that are going to start missing food, that are going to start missing meals because of this. And only Democrats are to blame.
Sad, though, we have the greatest economy in our history. We have the highest stock market. All these things are rocking. We will have, by the end of my first year, more than $20 trillion of investment. The all-time record is $3 trillion. I think it's China. We're going to have 20 or
China.
$21 trillion. We've never had anything like it coming in because of tariffs. The money pouring into our country, the plants that are opening, AI, automobiles, everything. And the Democrats want to close our country. They're really, you know, they say deranged. They suffer. I guess it's Trump derangement syndrome, which I think is going down now as an official condition by the doctors. I think they get paid extra money.
The
if they
doctors,
handle it because it's
I
more
pay them
difficult
to
handle than
diagnose you
normal
with that.
mental disease.
We tell all the blue-haired women, you have ADHD, personality disorder, and Trump derangement syndrome.
But you know what? They really should approve an extension, get the country back to work, get the people paid. And, you know, it's very simple. You just don't.
Yeah, this is a fat win for Republicans right now. All they have to do is just show the voting record, to show Democrats are the ones closing it, and anyone that's common sense will be like, yo, this is, to say that they're closing the government, it's kind of retarded. They're the ones voting to try to reopen the government. You guys are voting no. It's very, very fucking clear. But they're doing everything to obfuscate it, to act like they're voting yes every time, guys. Trust me. Here's the official voting record. They voted no all 20 times or some shit. Fucking wild.
What's going on? There's something wrong with them. Yeah, it's sad, actually.
All right, I'm gonna call it there. Holy shit, I do apologize. This was a very long one, but I like to yap. What can I say? I like to talk. I've got a lot I want to talk about, and apparently I got way too much to talk about today. That was on 1.5 speed, by the way. I had him sped up the entire time. I'd still be going for another 30 minutes plus if I didn't do that. Oh, but yeah, thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you like this video, feel free to like it, comment down below, or subscribe. I imagine if you made it this far, you want to make it worth your while, right? You just wasted about 2 hours of your life on me, so. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting speech by Trump. I'm glad to see that he's actually using all of the branches collectively to get drug dealers and to get violent members of society out of our society at the bare minimum. Whether or not they're blown up or they're put in prison or deported, I just want them out of society. I don't want them here. I don't want them on our streets. I don't want them in my cities. It's that simple. They don't belong here. They're violent. They're dangerous. They're facilitating Americans dying from drugs. They're facilitating human trafficking. They're committing crimes against the populace. Get them out. It's that easy. It's that simple. That's all my demands are at the moment. That's all I want to see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. This was a pretty good sit down with Trump and all the heads of state. I'd like to hear more from Cash to see more of what he's doing, because he's made some pretty crazy claims in the past about the previous administration voter fraud, but he's been very silent about that recently. So I am curious to know more about that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Until then, later.